Okay.
You know that you can be somebody.
Hey, Internet. We're here.
Tweet.
Tweet, tweet.
What's up, Internet?
Tweedly deedly dee, tweedly deedly dee. Oh my God! Look at us.
Oh my God.
We're on the line.
Oh my God.
What's it like being online?
I don't know.
It's a good question, man. What is it like? Good question.
Eh. This computer's too fast. I can't stop the YouTube thing fast enough.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
I try,
I know.
but fast as my mouse can get over there, it's already playing.
What you doing?
Things a little loose.
Yeah.
Loosey-goosey.
I know how that is.
Yeah. Now it's
That's a
less
good
loose.
idea.
It's less loose.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. A little less loose.
Less loose.
So,
Just gonna go free mic.
yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Free mic
right.
all
Do
day?
a little stand up.
Where's
Man.
everybody from tonight?
Yeah.
So what is the deal with bad movies? I mean,
No grapes, no nuts.
some of them are good.
Yeah.
Some of them are bad. I don't know what the deal is.
Give us full view while we're just bullshitting. I
Uh-huh.
always feel we just cut Chuck off here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Why
Well, I
would-
mean, because, the explosion, gets up in your grill when we have the...
It gets up in his grill. Who are the ad wizards that came up with Chuck?
Nobody knows.
Not good ones.
No.
Shitty wizards. Swiss
Wizards.
Wizards.
We love you, buddy.
I know.
You're just always going to be the foil.
Yeah. We need an intern.
We do. We need to get someone newer, and then they will be the butt of all of our jokes.
Yep.
Or just summon them in here
Hey,
Hey, intern, get in here. We got to make fun of you.
you suck. Ha!
Get
out.
Hey,
Look
hey,
at your ears.
Hey, Tyler, get in here, Tyler. You suck. Get the fuck out. Get us some coffee.
Yeah.
Give me a fruity drink.
Yes, that is all we need in an intern. Someone who can make fruity drinks.
God.
Yeah.
If we had the intern cocktail cam, just
We are now accepting applications.
Yeah.
For
apply for your internship.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a summer, autumn, winter, and spring internship.
Yeah. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. All you have to do is
Yeah, it doesn't pay
mix
well.
cocktails. No, it pays
No.
terribly.
Yeah,
In fact.
but I mean, you'll get experience from pros
Yeah.
Yeah, and exposure.
and exposure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we're
absolutely.
going to leave you outside.
Right. Yeah.
You don't get to sleep.
I mean, it's Florida, so your exposure won't be that bad.
Right.
it's only heat, mosquitoes, cockroaches,
Right.
and hawks.
Yeah. Hawks.
Hawks.
I think we have more. I think we have more
Hawks.
owls than we do hawks as far as birds
Well,
of prey.
I mean, who's counting?
Uh
The rules are no eye contact.
huh.
Don't speak to us. Don't look at us. Just bring us drinks.
Yeah, just
clean up
listen,
after us.
just take.
You can
our-
speak to me.
take
I'm
our
okay with
orders.
it. I will translate.
I'm not okay
we
with
need
you
to stick.
speaking to him.
Yeah.
with them speaking to me.
My rule
Yes.
is that you can't speak to Harlow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, somebody's got to speak intern and convey information.
No, we can speak
we can
to
speak
it.
to them.
Oh.
Yeah, it. They cannot talk back or look upon us. They have to look down.
The only time you're allowed to make eye contact was when I'm sampling your drink for the
Yes.
first time.
Yeah,
I
right.
want direct eye contact.
Right here.
And the Yelp review will be right here.
You'll know.
Yeah.
They can only make eye contact while I'm pooping,
The Yelp review is,
and they
if I
cannot break
throw-
it.
Yeah.
Right. If I throw my empty glass at you and you yelp, you owe me money.
That's
Yeah,
you
one-
got
one star.
One Yelp.
You're
on
out.
Yelp. How many Yelps would you give that injury? Fucking intern.
Yeah, we're really selling this
Yeah.
internship.
So
It's
hey,
it's great.
apply.
I mean, yeah, it's-
Send us an email.
Sign up today. BMF@bmfcast.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Subject line intern.
You can sleep on the floor in the studio when we're not using it.
No. They need to go to their home.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
staying here.
Oh, all right. I was trying to sweeten the pot.
No.
The pot's already sweet enough.
Is
it's
it? A very
it's
sweet
an
pot.
internship.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
With us.
We should probably confer about this offline.
No,
No.
I think
No,
we,
no,
I
I
think
think
we
we're
set
gonna-
up all
yeah.
the
some
rules,
healthy
yeah.
debate online. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fall, winter, spring, summer,
Mm-hmm.
and fall, winter, spring, summer.
Right.
For the rest of your life
Yeah.
internship.
We will want blended fruity drinks during the podcast.
Yes.
However, you are not allowed to operate a blender because of the
Right.
delicate audio equipment
Yeah.
which we use,
Right.
which means you will need to
Figure that out.
Well, you can take an
self-mash.
extension cord into the garage.
I'm
really,
I'm
not
afraid.
now.
Yeah, I'm afraid we might have some audio interference. I'm thinking like all drinks must be made with a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, but that grinding noise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Really grind your gears.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to work that out.
You just have to.
Maybe a butter churn. They're pretty quiet.
I don't know.
Not if you get your back into it.
Yeah.
Nah, not if you're doing it right.
Yeah. Turn that butter.
Yeah.
Now bring me a fruity drink and some butter. Intern.
I want 2 pats of butter with my drink. Intern.
Who taught you to make a Tom Collins?
Just straight throwing back, like licking a pat of butter, and then
Yeah, just throw it back a drink.
helps it slide down.
I
easier.
love that the drink you chose was a Tom Collins.
That's the only drink I know.
I ran on a highball. That's basic. That's fucking basic shit.
Fucking weak sauce.
Highball's like 2 ingredients. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Minimum 5.
Yeah, you need to be able to make drinks with the minimum of 5 ingredients and butter.
Yeah. Well, the butter's like a garnish. A butter garnish. Like you just put the butter on the lip of the glass, like a lime.
Teeters are like a starburst.
Yeah, I'd like a Manhattan. Rim the glass with butter,
Yeah,
please.
yes.
So I can make it the worst tasting drink on earth. If a Manhattan isn't bad enough already.
Wait, what's
Manhattan's
wrong with Manhattan?
not
It's
bad.
like a raspberry thing.
No.
I'm sorry.
Manhattan
I'm
is-
thinking of a
You're thinking of a
Cosmo. I'm thinking of a Cosmo. I'm
Cosmopolitan.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's-
Manhattan's basically like, hey, do you like liquor?
Yeah.
Because here's all the ones that have like liquor flavor.
Liquor
not like
flavor.
anything that's like nice and pleasant to taste.
Well, it's
Well, you do like old fashions. I mean,
bourbon,
that's some
vermouth,
bitter
and,
shit.
and bitters.
Yeah.
Bitters.
Yeah, but
Practic-
it's like here's all the bitter.
Oh.
Yeah, well, bitters are...
I like the old fashioned because like
Bourbon.
if it's done right, it's got a bourbon forward taste, but it's also got a sweetness that's like that lingers a little bit to it, and that's what I like about it.
Okay.
Because I don't mind drinking straight bourbon, but you gotta sip that shit.
Right.
Just throw it
Well,
back.
I'm glad we
Nah.
worked that all out.
Yeah, so apply within.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you put butter in our drinks, I will hurt you.
Unless it's like a butter rum or butterscotch
Right.
something.
And if you don't put butter in our drinks, we will hurt you.
Butterbeer.
So, and I would, yeah, butterbeer.
Well, don't put butter in Mackey's drinks. You can put butter in my drink, but if it's bad, just know that I'm going to give you a one shiny Yelp review across your fucking eye.
Jesus.
You little prick.
Man, we are really selling that internship, aren't
Now
we?
remake it.
Yeah.
Don't make me give you 2 black eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we do a podcast? 'Cause
We-
it's already really late.
Yeah, we should.
I reckon we probably should.
It's probably
we,
my fault.
We've worked
We're
out this
alright.
internship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we got that
yeah.
panned out. It's
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to cover up Chuck partially with graphics.
Hide the
Yeah.
man behind a graphic.
Yeah. I mean, you can still see your head. You see the moneymaker there
yeah.
if you turn towards the camera.
Ugh.
There you go. There it is. There it is.
I should redo our logo at some point.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's intern's work.
Yeah, it is.
That's true.
sure.
We could just, I don't know, maybe do away with the lower third. Or, I don't know, something more transparent, maybe. Something like, maybe not a lower third, but like a lower center little thing, you know.
What about a bug in the upper right corner?
Like, yeah? We could do that.
We should have violators.
Yeah.
What?
Just middle of the podcast, like somebody walks out,
like,
hey,
someone from another podcast sticks
Yep.
their head and be like, you could be watching my podcast.
Watch this shitty podcast
Yeah.
Sunday.
tune in Thursdays at 9.
Tune in for the adventures of young BMFcast,
Mm,
spin-off show, where we are even worse, somehow.
we would be.
Yeah.
I do
All
like
right,
that
we got a
CBS
long way to
for
go and a
while.
short time to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't talk about CBS's violators right now.
CVS's?
CBS,
Oh. Yeah.
Central Broadcasting
Gotcha.
System.
Gotcha.
It's the network old people watch,
Hmm.
where
You-
literally every show on it they claim is the #1 something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
#1 new Friday night comedy.
Then LL Cool J walks out to remind you to watch NCIS Birmingham or whatever the fuck he's
Yeah.
on.
Is he still on that?
Yeah. Sure.
NCIS, Topeka.
I know I know Sling Blade from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is on the New Orleans one.
Yes. That's why he couldn't be in that actual Fast and Furious movie because they wouldn't let him go.
God,
He had commitments on
it was
his
for the best.
dumb NCIS show.
Yeah, he looked like 40, even though in
That's
the
the one with
timeline
Bakula,
of the
right?
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though in the timeline of the movies he was supposed to be like 18 at that point.
Right. Because we had
Yeah.
caught up.
But he
to-
looked older than Burt Reynolds in Hooper. You know, in
Hoopa.
whenever what was that 7?
Hoopa.
Where they got him to show up? Yeah, I think it was 7.
Yeah, because it was the end of 6 that did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've confused me now. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's talk about this movie. Let's
Yes,
do
let's.
this thing. Clap it. Why not? Proper clap it.
Sure, because this is a film.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
Episode 437.
Ooh, good low.
Yep.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. I get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks. However, thanks for the Foley there, Michael Winslow. However, there are bad movies. As a stay away, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash in which we wish to put them.
Boo!
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
disagree
Get
with
out
these movies'
of
existence.
here.
Get him away from me.
I don't think that's going to be a issue, a scale that you need to worry about tonight, because we are paying
Fair.
tribute to a legend. In fact, actually, I believe we were kind of all scheduled to record our sister podcast, No Quarters, talk about important things in the video game world. However,
And then a ridiculously important man passed away.
Yeah.
we decided to alter those plans because we now have to say the late, great Burt Reynolds is no longer with us. And we have long had Hooper in the hopper. And so it seemed like time to finally put Hooper on our screen and come in here and see what all the hoopla is about.
All right, I like the
Yeah.
way you got there.
Yeah.
You
good.
jumped through a lot of hoops to get there,
Yeah.
but I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, it was
Pre-
a hyper loop of a hoops.
Uh,
But yes, 1978's Hooper.
Hooper.
We're going to talk about it because
Hoopa.
it's very much in our wheelhouse because it's
God damn it, is it?
yeah. I mean, first things first, plot summary. Then we'll talk about who's behind the scenes because there's some important names.
Absolutely.
But here we go. Hollywood aging stuntman Sonny Hooper wants to prove that he's still got what it takes to be a great professional in this risky and under-recognized line of work. Stuntmanning.
Yeah.
Does it say Stunt Manning?
It does not. I added
okay.
that. You know, Eli.
Yeah, that's
Eli
Peyton's
and
My new
brother.
name is Stunt Manning.
Eli and Peyton's brother Stunt Manning.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, this is. It's pretty much a Smokey and the Bandit reunion movie.
Yeah, it was basically like
Like-
6 months after Smoking.
Yeah,
the
it was
Bandit.
like less than a year later. They're like, man, everybody,
Yeah.
let's get the gang back together and just
Yeah.
make another movie like that.
I mean, first off,
'Cause-
it's the legendary Hal Needham.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who, he has graced our stage many a time.
Megaforce.
Rad.
Body Slam.
A lesser work of Hal Needham, but yes.
Yeah.
We
So-
like, isn't that the one with Roddy Piper and
It
stuff?
is.
It
Yeah,
is,
I
yeah.
thought we liked that one.
It's all
All
right.
right.
But I mean, come on. It's
it's-
no last 45 minutes of Megaforce.
This is true.
Yeah.
Few things are.
Yeah.
Also, of course, Burt Reynolds,
Of
Who?
course.
who I was like, man, have we done any Burt Reynolds movies? And
Oh yeah, the biggest ones.
Yeah. Endgame,
Uh-huh.
which showed up during Cuba Gooding June.
Yeah.
In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. He was the titular king that it was done in the name of.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yep.
Fuzz, which is extra.
Mm-hmm.
100 Rifles, which is extra. And Saints Row the Third, which is just extra great from No Quarters
yeah.
land.
That was worth mentioning.
Yes.
I believe
He
that
was
was
the
a
mayor.
40.
Yeah,
in that
he
year.
was the mayor of the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was himself, wasn't he?
Ironically,
Yeah, he was Mayor
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds.
I was gonna say, ironically, he shares the screen in this with Adam West, who plays Mayor Adam West
Right.
on Family Guy, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking IMDb trivia
well,
right there.
I was
isn't
just
it?
just realized that like
Yeah,
two
Adam
people in
West.
this movie have played themselves as a mayor.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adam West of Omega Cop fame.
Of course.
His most famous role in Omega Cop.
Uh-huh.
He was a man who proposed to a woman with a grenade pin
Yes.
and then died.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sally Field from Beyond the Poseidon Adventure. Thanks, Extra.
You're padding these stats with stuff from
Yeah.
Extra.
They
I
count.
Don't know.
Hey, they
I don't
count.
know. I don't know.
They're canon.
Speaking of Extra,
No.
Brian Keith of Meteor.
Right?
And lastly, Jan Michael Vincent of Alienator.
Yeah. Alienator.
I think we liked Alienator.
I think it was all right.
Yeah. Was that a Wynorski joint?
It was a Fred Olin Ray thing.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Alienator, I
Yeah.
hardly knew her.
I remember they were in the woods a lot,
Yeah.
and there was this Amazon lady.
So,
Yeah.
was it a power-packed Amazon lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A
But
lot of people.
technically speaking, this movie is only on DVD, and it is only available in a pan and scan. Well, not pan and scan, but like a cropped.
It's at
4x3.
It's out of print.
Yeah, it's out of print. I mean, like this movie deserves better.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's pan scan because it didn't look open matte.
Yeah, I'm just saying they didn't do any like egregious like digital pans like Star Wars did and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing where it was like, ooh, ah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4x3. I guess you would call it pan and scan, but
I mean-
it's mostly like, well, this is obviously the part of the shot you want to see.
The only thing I wonder is if that bar was meant to actually be outside. Because
That's true. That might be open mat.
like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you did see above this fencing that they had for walls, and you're like, oh, wait, no, this is totally just in a parking lot somewhere. Which
Yeah.
makes sense for stuntmen to have a bar that just gets fucked up outside, but
Right.
who knows?
Yeah, they like just literally built some fencing and like threw a bar in there, and we're like,
Yeah.
this is a bar now.
Yeah. But this is
Living
a
the dream.
just like real quick, this is a weird trend with a lot of Burt Reynolds movies in that they just don't exist. Like you cannot rent this movie. Like usually we're like, you could rent it, but that doesn't count because we just want to stream it somewhere. You can't rent it anywhere. The disc is out of print. That's insane.
Yeah, and none of the streaming services. I believe, as you put it, basically, if you want to go on Netflix and watch some Burt Reynolds, you can watch Boogie Nights,
Yeah,
or you could hit rewind and watch Boogie Nights again.
correct. Yeah,
There wasn't even like an animated movie where he did a voice or something.
it was like a Frosty the Snowman
Okay.
thing,
Which, I
and
mean-
an episode of The Twilight Zone.
barely count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Amazon Prime was a little better. They had 2 or 3, Smoking the Bandit, stuff like that. They had a couple of movies that you could get to. But, like, as a whole, like, his filmography is not represented well in the 21st century in terms of things you can go and get or things you can hit play on or whatever. So keep this one in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember the movie Hooper when it finally comes out in some way that you can see it.
Yes.
You're going to want to see
Yes.
it.
Last bit thing that you can get only because it's a great little bit of Burt Reynolds history. Look for the YouTube video of his brief appearance on the Golden Girls.
Oh,
Oh,
It's so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's just saying. That's out there. Man, it's worth watching.
it is. Yes.
Anyway,
So, Hooper.
Hooper.
Hope.
Yeah, we've talked all around the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are going to discuss this movie. However, it's a lot of stunts, so it's kind of one of those movies where it's like we're going to attempt to go kind of play by play, but
the movie's about 80% stunts.
Yeah.
And then the 5% Burt Reynolds going, Burt Reynolds. And
Yeah.
then 5% plot.
yeah,
Somebody pointed out during the movie, like, this is the Burt. Like, this is the most Burt
Yeah,
of
this-
all the Burt movies.
yeah. This is
where all
birdiest
the
of all Burt things.
Yeah.
Burt, peak.
Gum
Reynolds.
smacking. Like in the first 30 seconds, I was going to make a joke that we should drink every time he does the Burt Reynolds laugh because it's rare in movies. Actually, like it became like a joke that everyone did, but he didn't actually do it that much in movies. Oh no, he does
This
it in this
movie-
movie all the fucking time,
Yeah.
and it seems genuine every time he does it too. Like he's genuinely laughing at things.
Yeah.
So
Someone in our comments, I'm just going to throw it out there. We don't normally advocate acquiring movies, but I feel like you have when a movie's out of print, when the thing that is out there isn't the best thing. Apparently, this has aired in HD on probably like MGM Classic
Oh, yeah.
or TCM or something. So there are versions of it out there.
I believe that to be true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, take that how you will. But this is
As of right now,
what I'm saying is, hey, studios, get on your ass, especially like now that the man is gone. Let's get some Blu-ray of some of these classics out there.
yeah.
Because this is I feel like this is sort of a not talked about little gem in his filmography. I've seen a number of Burt Reynolds movies. I never really even was aware of this one until it was brought to our attention.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who was it.
I thought Yen
Was
sent
it?
it
I was
to
going to
us.
say, was it Yen's way back in the day?
I think
Because
so.
this was literally been on the shelf for years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, he's a somewhat aging stuntman.
It's
I
weird.
mean, you know, it's the you know, it's the third Batman, Christian Bale. It's like, oh, I'm old now. It's like, yeah, but 3 years since the last movie,
Right.
You're not that old,
Yeah.
guy. But
Yeah,
he's
at the time of filming, he was 41.
right. But I mean, in the
In the
life of a
stuntman,
stuntman,
He was younger than me.
Yeah.
I mean,
when this movie was made.
the
Yeah.
entire opening sequence is just like him suiting up to do a stunt, and it's just, you know, scar after scar as he's putting on, you know, padded like underwear things, and like I didn't even know what this movie was about. I didn't realize he was gearing up for a stunt. At first, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, is he a catcher? Is this Hooper's a catcher?
I thought he was a football player at
Exactly.
first.
I was like, I don't know. And then like he put on leather boots, and I'm like, okay, now I have no idea what's happening. But yes, he eventually suits up in a track gear suit to go to a motorcycle stunt, replete with a gold helmet that I guess is like his lucky helmet or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like rolls out and just hot. You know, this is pure fictional Hollywood, like the best kind of fictional Hollywood, where it's just like everything is 100% ready to go all the time, and they're waiting on this one person, and everything is working like a well-oiled machine, which is not true even in the slightest. Like 90% of making movies is
No.
sitting around waiting on someone else.
Well, the part that involves Burt Reynolds is.
Yeah.
Because it's Burt fucking Reynolds.
Sure.
But it's like the director, who's Robert Klein, just drives up to the set and just walks out of his car into the director's chair up on a crane. You
Yeah.
know, like doesn't say a word, just points and
Yep.
like that's how it is. No.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, you know, Adam West like goes on the bike, and he's got the Burt Reynolds mustache, and it's like he gets off, you know, and I love like he's wearing the helmet too. It's like, why have your star, your untrained star, even do that if he's got a helmet on? Like there was just little things where it was like, all right. Like there's a harness stunt later where it's like they have him slide like a foot on the rope, and then it's like, all right, stop,
Yep.
and get Burt Reynolds in here. But he comes out, you know, just perfectly does this stunt, and then immediately is like, you know, cut, you know. He first like he slides under a semi truck and then like hits a car and flips over and lands in the bushes. Everyone's like, "Cut, great, you're awesome, Hooper." And then
Except the director, who just is like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, we got the shot.
I've seen
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his friend walks over. What the hell's the dude's name? The guy.
James Best, Roscoe P. Coltrane.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks over. Yeah, I know. I was trying to go.
Cully is
I was
his
going
name
for
in the movie.
Yes, I was going for in the movie.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Yes, Cully. His friend walks over and it's just like, "You all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on, let's go to the trailer." And he's like, "Give me some Percocets."
Yep.
Because it's just he's just a pill popping, drinking. I heard all the time, stuntman.
Yeah, but this movie's not about drugs.
No, I mean it's not
Surprisingly, no.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
starts
like
off
right away when you
with
pop two
drugs.
Percocet, you're like, oh man, he's gonna be fucked up by the end of this movie. Nah.
Not really. I mean, because he goes home and immediately like Sally Field is his girlfriend, like live at home girlfriend, and she's just like she kind of gives him a shit like, oh, you took pills again, damn it, you can't do this, you can't take that every day, and that's kind of like the end of like, man, you're addicted to pain pills and stuff like that. It's kind of like she just scolds him a little bit and is like, oh, you can't keep living this life, and he's just it's very 70s, like, why don't you pick up after my shit? You don't do anything all day, woman. For half a second, and then it's just
For
like
half a second.
yeah, and then it's just like, oh, it's sexy time, let's go.
Yeah. Chucks a beer can across the room.
Yeah, she's like, just get your garbage 10 feet within the
Yeah.
or close to the can, and he's just like, she's like, close enough, let's go fuck.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to like the rest of the cast of stuntman characters, which includes her dad, basically, which is that's Brian Keith, and he plays Jocko, who's like was the legendary stuntman until Hooper came along.
Yeah.
And
Hooper's the hot shot.
if you read the trivia, like the actual Jocko is Sally Field's real stepfather,
Yeah.
and he is like a legendary stuntman, and this movie was kind of sort of based on him.
Yeah.
So he's playing a fictionalized version of Sally Field's actual stepfather.
I have a feeling this movie took about 3 steps to being made, which was just basically like, hey, your dad was, and we did stunts, and stunts, okay, movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was pretty much it.
Hey, why don't we pay tribute to your dad? Yeah.
I'll wear a funny hat.
You look good in short shorts. Come on, let's make another movie.
Yeah, really. Don't wear a bra.
Hey, we're gonna make it really cold, okay?
But yeah, so there's a cast of stuntmen working on this, and he's the stunt coordinator / doing all the stunts. But he's such like a thrill junkie that he could go to just being a stunt coordinator / trainer of other stuntmen, but it's like he's just got to get that thrill, kind of thing.
He's not done working yet
Right.
because he hasn't killed himself.
It's just that age-old thing of just like I got to keep
Yeah.
doing the thing that I love, even though it's going to kill me.
But-
it's the wrestler. I mean, that's
Yeah, pretty much. and at some point they're like, "Hey, did you hear about?" Well, somebody comes over and talks him into doing like a stunt charity show for the kids.
For the kids.
There's like a boys' home or something like that, and we got
because the guy brings him a kid.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
your
here's
biggest
one of
fan.
those kids.
This 8-year-old kid's your biggest fan. He knows all your work, and
Yeah.
he's like, "All right, fine, I'll do the thing." But
Yeah.
during this, it's like you hear about the kid, not meaning the boy's kid, but like this other stuntman that they're calling the kid, who's Jan Michael Vincent, who is like this hot up and coming stuntman, and his entrance into this stunt spectacular, which is just ludicrous. Like, think of the theme park stunt spectacular things you've ever been to, if you've ever seen one. Like, it's Roman chariot races, it's cowboy shit, it's motorcycles, it's cars, it's
like 4 different stunt shows all on the same like dusty western road.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's like they do the cowboy shit and you're like, uh-huh, and then all of a sudden it's just like bikers and cars going through and you're like, wait, what? And then it's like chariot race time and it was like, huh?
right. Yeah, and I mean,
But everyone fucking loves it.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
underselling like how good the interaction is. Like, I mean, I've watched a lot of Burt Reynolds movies, and it's like most of the time, not, and even Hal Nita movies, a lot of the time the cast isn't really gelled.
Sure.
Like, this cast is all in. Like,
Yeah.
there is not one person that's just like, I'm phoning this in, or why am I here? Who are you? Why am I doing this? Like, everyone in this movie is fucking on.
Yep.
Like 100% on.
Yeah, and they all interact really well.
Extraordinarily well.
Just all their quips are super quick.
Yeah. I mean,
it feels like they're all friends.
well,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think a lot of them are. One of the other bits of IMDb trivia is that Burt Reynolds and Brian Keith are like longtime friends. He was like Burt's acting coach when he was getting out of being a stuntman into an actor, because Burt really was a stuntman, which is why he knows all these people.
Yep.
And, so there is some friendship behind the scenes here and stuff, and it kind of shows. But anyway, the protagonist turned friend, like the guy you think is going to be like he's going to be the young buck that fucks everything up, but it's like he kind of comes in, they kind of swing dicks for a second, like, we're going to chariot race, but Burt ends up saving him, and from that minute on, like, I mean, Jan Michael Vincent kind of comes in and he's like, "You're a legend. I've always wanted to meet you. I've been trying to meet you for like a year and a half."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Yeah, that's cool, kid." And then like the chariot race stunt goes wrong. He hops horses over to his, stops him, and saves his life. And from that moment on, it's like, we're friends.
Yeah.
You're just part of the gang.
I mean, the cliched thing you think that's going to happen is that they're going to be one-upping each other, and Jan Michael Vincent's going to be a dick, and Bert's going to end up doing something real bad to stay in the game.
Right.
But it's like, no, it's none of that. It's just like they instantly work together, and Bert will kind of roll his eyes at Jan Michael Vincent every once in a while, and Jan Michael Vincent wants to do a whole bunch of crazy shit, and Bert's like, nah, maybe not. And then he's just like, yeah, let's fucking do it. We're stuntmen.
Right.
But that's really it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no conflict really in this, which is fine.
It kind of stresses the whole hangout movie thing.
Yeah.
Like it reinforces that whole facet of this movie, that
Yeah.
it's basically everyone liked each other and they wanted to hang out on a movie set.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Adam Sandler thing nowadays, where it's like, hey, my buddies and I, where can we set this movie where we can all go on vacation?
Exactly. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, the most...
Except these people are working, unlike
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
grown-ups and shit.
Yes.
yeah. But, like, so, I mean, like, the biggest, like, conflict of the movie is the bar fight, really, which is just another group of people.
Yeah, they finish another big stunt, and they're like, let's go to the Palomino.
Palomino,
and
yeah.
hang out.
James Best is, like, throughout the entire scene, like, hey, let's go to the Palomino. And then, like, no one's listening to him, and he'll wait for silence and go, hey, we should really go to the Palomino. Just keep saying it.
Eventually,
really wants
when
to go
they
get
get
drunk.
there, we're like, well, fuck yeah, you should have wanted to go to the Palomino, because, as we said, whether it's supposed to be or not, it is an outdoor bar
Yeah.
that is just a fence with some shit inside of it. Again, this could be, we might have watched an open mat version of the movie. We don't
Yeah.
know.
It's hard to tell.
It is
but-
hard to tell. I mean, the thing is, like, the only thing that makes me question is usually when you have open mat movies, you get lots of boom mics in the shot.
Yeah.
And given that this whole thing is about a film being made, you can excuse any boom mics, but I never saw any like for things that weren't part of the movie.
I saw one early on, but
it was during the middle of a movie shoot, so
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
so,
it
yeah.
could have just been like, well, that's in the movie shoot. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go to this bar. They're just having a good time, getting drunk, and then there's another table that features Terry Bradshaw, who would then later show up in the Cannonball Run. Once again, establishing some friendships here.
Yep.
And they're just like, hey, you're making too much noise. We put money in the jukebox. You owe me 50 cents. And they're drunk, and they're stuntmen, and they're just like, yeah? You want 50 cents? Here, hand me that helmet. And Bert just runs headfirst into the jukebox with his helmet on, and then just picks up 2 quarters and walks over there and throws them at him. And then they're still like, well, we're going to fight, because obviously this
Yes, that's
bar is...
the only reason this place exists.
Yeah, this bar is the Donnybrook bar, basically.
Yep. The best part of this, though, is like right when it starts, the guy who's in the Roman outfit, they're over playing snooker or whatever the fuck that small pool table thing is.
Bumper pool.
Yeah. And the fight breaks out in the back. He looks over and goes, "Oh, cool, fight!" And just hits his buddy over the head with a pool cue.
No, even better. He gives a really good like, oh shit, it's a fight. Like it's
Crack.
he sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making about this is that even though there's this conflict, because like Terry Bradshaw and his crew are all in town for a SWAT convention, so they're fucking elite cops.
Yeah, they've already got. Well, we skipped. Like there was a point where when they were driving to the bar, was that because they were already they established like fuck cops.
Oh, yeah.
early on in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
there was a thing where they're just stunting down the road. Like it's actually like the second or third scene of this movie because we right away we were like, man, the fucking 70s were the best.
Yeah.
Like. Drinking and driving down the road,
Yeah.
hopping cars just for the shits and giggles of it. Like the
They're in a
ladies,
Suzuki what?
I think it was a Brat, Subaru Brat, right?
Subaru
Subaru
Brat,
Brat,
okay,
yeah.
But like the ladies who aren't stunt people, I don't think. Maybe the ladies were. Well, Sally
They
Field,
were, yeah.
Sally Field is like son of a stunt person. It's not established she ever stunted
Because those
but-
two ladies were they crashed a car in the stunt show. at the beginning.
Right. Yes, you're right. Yes.
Where the
But-
announcer said, "Give them cheers. That's the only pay they're going to get." It's like, haha, because they're ladies. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck, guy.
Well, it's also a charity, but
I know.
it also did feel like casual sexism. I don't.
They didn't say it about any of the dudes.
That's
They were
true.
just like, cheer these ladies. That's all they get. Dirt.
But they're just hopping cars, and Bert is like, hey, watch this, and starts driving his pickup truck backwards down the road, keeping pace with everybody in reverse. And they go by a cop.
Well, they do that because the ladies have beer, and Brian Keith wants a beer, but
Right.
Brian Keith is in the passenger seat of the truck, so he whips down, does a U-turn, starts driving it backwards, so like they can hand him the beer directly,
okay.
and so they're just like, and Bert's just like, I'm gonna keep doing this, so they can just keep driving backwards, and like they're handing beers back and forth, and at like one point a motorcycle is coming the opposite way and goes between the cars and just takes the beer.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just like not part of it. Just
Yeah,
like
no, just like, oh, thanks.
yeah, moment of opportunity. Like, oh, lady with the beer. I'll take
Fucking
that.
California in the 70s. And I mean, they're bumping into each other
Oh,
and
yeah.
crashing around. And
That's how it started. Is like the
ha, boink.
Bert's bumping the back of the Brat.
Yeah, he is.
A phrase I never thought I'd say, but
But very accurate.
yeah, very accurate. And and then so this cop is just like, oh, fucking big bus time, and gives him a ticket. But they do this whole thing where like they secretly hook the back of his belt to a telephone pole.
The back
and
of the
then-
cop's belt.
Yeah, the back of the cop's belt, and then like take off in reverse again. The cop's like, hey, and takes off, goes to take off on his motorcycle, and of course gets like quarter of a mile down the road or whatever, and yoink.
Snatched right off
Yeah.
the bike.
I don't know how there's not a bench warrant out for all these people. Like every cop is constantly surprised, like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? But
But-
it's like, Jesus.
But they kind of established this like the fuck the police attitude of
Yeah.
this era, and so yeah, when they come up and they're like, we're here for a SWAT convention, they're like, oh, let's fuck with these guys.
Yeah.
And so Donnybrook,
But-
and then eventually like,
But they have this fucking Donnybrook, and they smash the fuck out of this bar, ending with everyone getting defenestrated out of the windows of this place.
the best part is like they full on throw 2 people out through the I think it's Burt Reynolds and Terry Bradshaw go out first.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do.
and they go out the full window, but then like one of them they're like, there's like one panel of glass left on like a 9-panel window, and the bouncers intentionally throw him through
Yes.
that last little tiny pane.
Yeah.
It is such a beautiful touch. It's
It
just
is.
like you're going through glass,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
But
Well,
they're
it's
all
just like that shit's still happening
Yeah.
in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're all like outside in the trash, having just gone through these windows, and they're just like, hey, this is the best time I ever had. So now they're all friends.
They're like, why don't we get some
Right.
food? And they're like, yeah, but we already ate. And you're like, oh yeah, well let's just go drink some more. Party at my house.
Well, like even before that, like when they're just sitting there chatting with one another, they're still just tossing dudes out.
They are. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and Jocko comes up and like they're about to throw him out. He's like, I've been through enough windows, and he just tumbles out himself out the
Yeah.
window. You're not throwing me out a goddamn
Yeah.
window.
And
And
yeah,
then
they all go back to Bert's
they
place.
go back to Bert's place and like are watching Bert stunt film. You know, like he's got a actual like projector and is showing some of his clips of.
He's got
of
a demo
stunts.
reel of his.
And everybody's passed out except for like the three primary stuntmen, like Jocko, Burt Reynolds. Well, no,
Jocko's passed
yeah, I'm
out.
sorry, yeah, sorry. Jocko's passed out. So it's only Burt and Ski, as we end up they ended up nicknaming Jan Michael Vincent because he's got a long Polish name. Yeah, and they're just like, we're calling you Ski.
Yep.
And so like he's like, that's great, and he hasn't been drinking. Everyone else has passed the fuck out, and he's like, hey Jocko. And I only bring this up because Brian Keith either was literally drunk, which is entirely possible given this era of movie and everything else, or he does some of the best drunk acting I have ever seen in my life.
It's pretty good.
Because, I mean, he did supposedly teach, acting. So the trick to drunk acting is not acting like you're drunk. It's doing what you are drunk, which is trying to look more sober than you are.
Right.
And he's doing it exceptionally well.
Yep.
But yeah, because
Yeah.
like,
It's impressive.
yeah, just like the second thing he goes Jocko, he's like, "What? I wasn't." He just like wakes up in that like mid sentence, like I was still paying attention to the conversation, which is a very drunk thing to do.
Yeah.
And then just
He's also like, well, last call down the gullet.
I ever tell you about the time.
Yeah.
It's so good, but yeah, they shoot the shit and like Ski's part of the crew now. They're like, we'll find something for you. Just show up at the movie tomorrow. We'll do something.
Yeah.
And they stunt some more, and then he's like, they do a car stunt the next day, and Bert's so fucking hungover, like he kind of blows it, and it's not real close. It's supposed to look like he's supposed to skid out right by a truck that comes by, and it's a good ways away. And Robert Klein's like, it did nothing for me. It was so far away, like nothing. Like I don't normally take to it, but that sucked. And Ski's like, yeah, well, what about this? And he
comes up with something totally different.
right, he does.
I don't get this at all.
I don't either. I don't understand what happens here.
Well, that's the thing is like the movie they're making makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
The movie they're making is called The Spy Who Laughed at Danger.
Yeah.
And it's very much a James Bond thing because they like one note off the James Bond music at one point
Yeah.
are doing that. But like location consistency and whatever the fuck this movie's about, who knows? Because it is just wherever they are, they film a stunt.
They may as well be making Stuntman the video game.
Exactly.
Because that's just like random movies with stunts.
Yep.
Because there's also another stunt. As we said, there's that. All right, I said earlier. There's like a zipline stunt where they get Adam West up on the top of this building. They let him go like 1 foot, and they're like, cut. And now Adam West has full Burt Reynolds mustache. Like from afar, I didn't even know it was Adam West at first. The first time he showed up, it was like, oh shit, that's Adam West. Like because he had full on Burt. I was impressed by the Burt Reynolds mustache.
Yeah. And he's playing Adam West.
He is. Yes, he is.
Adam West is the movie star in this universe,
Yeah.
and Burt Reynolds is the stunt man.
Right. But they're doing this. They do this whole back and forth thing where like he is rescuing a dog via this zip line.
In The Spy Who Laughed at Danger.
But he's got like a real shaggy dog up there, and then they're like cut, and then the Humane Society guys like, you got to fake. You're not taking a real dog up there, and all that. And they're like, of course not. And then of course they throw the real dog in there, and Bert has to like fall badly because he's got to protect the dog, so he hurts
Right.
himself even more. I think is this when he just demands to go to the doctor.
No,
No,
he just
it's
gets
later.
a shot.
This one he
that's
gets a
right.
shot
Yeah,
in
he's
the
like,
butt.
and
yeah,
says if he ever met the guy who invented it, he'd kiss him in the ass.
right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he says a lot of choice things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
He's like, I'd give him a rim job.
That's not what he says. He didn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like this, the stunt that Ski comes up with is so the first thing was just this traffic.
I think he
thing.
comes up with it because he knows like everyone is hung the fuck over, and this will have to wait till night.
Yeah.
I honestly think like because like they're like, oh, thank God, like we have some time for this hangover to wear off because they're just sitting around until night.
Yeah,
And-
but they basically just set the road on fire, and now Burt Reynolds and Jan Michael Vincent are dressed as like monks, and they set the road on fire, and then a car comes in and kind of crashes. And they just run over and get a girl out of the back of it and put a fire blanket on her and take her out.
Right.
Even the camera people are like, we can't see anything. But everyone's like, yeah, cut, print, great. I'm like, I have no idea what that was.
No.
But
it's just a lot of fire and things are on fire, and I guess it's cooler looking.
But like when they're standing there waiting to get ready, like someone's giving Bert instructions, and as he walks away, Bert says, "Bless your cock."
Pretty sure we ran it back a couple times.
Yeah.
Bless your cock.
Yeah. I don't know, but
Yeah, sure,
It-
whatever, man.
That's the only thing it could have been.
yes.
Yes.
Unless you said bless your sock. But
No.
Doesn't make any sense. And neither of them makes sense, but one's funnier.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But yes, another stunt happens, and there's more hanging out, and then fuck, I don't remember. There is a point where Bert's like, I gotta go to the doctor. Like they do a stunt, and it kind of goes.
it's when he jumps out of the helicopter.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to set the world record for the
Oh.
longest drop
Right.
Yeah.
without a parachute
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Which they actually did.
Yep.
That was a real record.
Yeah, and I mean this is
It's not Bert that did it, but
No.
the stuntman that did it did set a record.
Bert did crouch on a helicopter and pretend to leap forward, but yeah, that's when he's James Best comes over and he's like, "All right, I gotta go to the doctor. Take me to the hospital. I'm
Yeah,
sick."
and they do. I mean, it's obvious this guy and him know each other from way back because he's just trying to give him. He's like, "Yeah, your third and fourth vertebrae here are practically fused, and blah blah blah. If you do this and all this, and
Bert's just blowing bubbles.
He's
with his
he's
gum.
popping bubbles with his gum, and then eventually in the middle, he's like, "Hey doc, how's my coccyx erectus?" And he's like, and the doctor is just like takes it in stride. He's like, "Shut up for a second, let me finish."
He actually says, "Hold on to
Yeah.
that. Let me
Hold-
just get through
hold
my
on to
spiel."
it, and I'll tell you.
Yeah. And then he's just like, "Look, man, I fixed you up. Like, this would have lasted a lifetime on a normal person, but you've gone and fucked it up. Like, one more shot to, like, your neck, and you could be paralyzed from the neck down." He's like, "Nothing worked." And Bert's like, smacks on his gun for a second, then gets serious. Like, Bert's serious for a second, and he's like, "Nothing?" And he's like, "Yeah, not even your dingus or something."
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Yeah.
He's like, "My ding dong." Yeah, that's that.
My ding dong.
That's when he finally gets serious. Like this entire scene, I think something was cut out. Maybe he got super high before he went to go see the doctor because he's just laughing at everything the doctor is telling him.
Mm-hmm.
Like and this vertebrae is fused with this, and he's like, ah. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yes, now he's like, what? He's got the fucking, is it Varsity Blues or whatever? Where he's like, you're one shot away from being paralyzed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And he's basically like, well, okay, that's it. I'm done. And they go to they're hanging out on the set, and the film's writer has some tantrum and drives away, and they're like, I guess the writer didn't like writing, or something. And the producer comes over and is like, the guy likes all your stunts, so he's rewriting the ending to make it the biggest stunt spectacular of all time. You're gonna have to do some.
Yeah, go meet with
Yeah.
him tomorrow, and he's Robert Klein's doing this whole like, it's gonna be the biggest earthquake in the world, and buildings falling over, and you're escaping in a car, and then like they're like this bridge will go out, and Ski's just like looking at it, he's like, and they've established that he's like kind of science nerd because they're playing poker and he's got a little calculator or
He
some
has a
shit.
pocket calculator.
Yeah, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm figuring out my odds or whatever, and he's like, okay, so yeah, he studies it for a second. He's like, I think we can make this as a jump. Mm-hmm. He's like, it'll be the longest jump ever. We'll set a record. And Bert's like, yeah, rocket car.
Rocket car.
Yeah, rocket car. We can do this, right? Yeah. Roll cage and what's the longest rocket car jump? 125 feet? Well, this is 325. We can do it. Like
Yeah.
he's all on board. He's just like, but $100,000. That's what it's going to cost you. 50K each. It's a 2-man job. We have one person drives, one person reads the instruments and pushes buttons and whatnot.
Yep.
And that's the drama for the rest of the movie is like setting up and whether or not they're going to do this stunt.
Yeah, and basically like to get through all that to the stunting is basically like he's gonna do it, and then the crew starts acting shitty about it and tries to get him to get less money, which he takes the guy on a stunt
well,
ride.
there's a shitty like first assistant director
Yeah.
who's just a kiss ass, and he's like 5'2", and is like Bert is always constantly making really good short jokes at this
Every
guy.
scene they share, he
Oh
makes
my God.
some
Yeah.
slick burn.
There was one point where like he's getting in a car to go do a stunt or something. I think it's when he's going to the helicopter, and he's like, "Hey, Tony or whatever the fuck the guy's name is, I want you to get me a ladder about yay high." And he's like, "Okay, what for?" And he's like, "So you can climb up and kiss my ass."
So you can climb up and kiss my ass.
And then peels off.
Yeah.
But Yeah, he takes this guy on a spectacular ride, which convinces him to like, all right, fine, $100,000
Well,
deal.
he crashes the fucking car at the
does,
end.
Yeah, he
and the
rolls
guy's
it.
Yeah, he does. But he stunts through it like a couple other movie sets, and everyone's just like, "Hey, Sonny Hooper!"
Oh yeah, they're just going through like different like here's Western Town, and
they're
everyone's like,
fucking up, they're
"Hey,
fucking up
Hooper!"
shots and driving over director chairs, and he's just like, "Hey, it's Hooper." He's
The
fucking,
horses are all like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" But yeah,
oh, that Hooper.
oh, he's fun.
But yes, he rolls the car and eventually is like,
Yeah.
all right, agree to $100,000. And then Jocko has a stroke and falls in the shower, breaks his knee or
Right.
whatever. And so like he goes, there's a tearful scene where Sally Field is there and he shows up. He's like, what happened? And he's like, stroke. Yeah, stroke or ace. And no. But he's like, we're not sure he's going to
Nope.
walk again. No.
Do not make a stroke joke.
All right. No stroke joke?
Stroke.
All right. Well,
Too late.
my stroke joke privileges have been revoked. Yeah. All right. But he gets there, and it's kind of like a tearful scene. But once again, Brian Keith, who's now hopped up on Demerol or some shit,
Demerol,
yeah.
is once again doing some fantastic drunk and or actually high acting.
Yeah, like
'cause-
slipping in and out of consciousness, but
Yeah.
like telling parts of stories. And
Which is so fucking accurate if you've ever known someone in the hospital on morphine or some
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
Like where you're just like they will literally wake up and be like, did I ever tell you about the time I... And it's just like they're just finishing a thought that was in their sort of unconscious mind.
If you watch the Orson Welles drunk trying to do commercials video,
ah, the French.
Fred,
It's like they poke him and he's just like,
Right.
ah. Yeah.
that's kind of what Brian Keith is doing. This
And like
whole,
every time he starts to go back out, like Bert's like, "All right, time to slip out of here," and then Brian Keith will sit back up and start telling another story, and Bert slides back into frame.
And
Like,
Bert's like, hey, you're going to be okay. And then eventually he's just like, you fucking talk too much. He's like, get out of here while you're talking.
always talking.
And stuff. And just talking.
yeah,
Yeah. And so, like, he kind of has this epiphany, like, oh, shit, that could be me. He's like, he tells how he feels. He's like, this is my last movie. Mm-hmm. You know, and previous to when he took the first AD guy or whatever on the wild ride, it was like, cut whatever you have to cut. We're going to do this stunt, you know, because there's
Get the money
The
somewhere.
producers are like, oh, it's too expensive. We're already over budget. Blah blah blah. He's like, you know, cut whatever you have to cut. But one of the things they cut is they cut his friend, Cully,
Yeah.
out of the movie because when he gets home with
got
her,
Cullied.
yeah, like he's there and he's drunk on their tequila, which is good because like
buenos noches.
yeah, no, he goes, he walks in and they go, bonus noche.
yeah, I'm drinking your tequila.
And then they have a whole thing where he's like, "Oh, did you tell her about the stunt? And then did you tell her about going to the doctor? And one more hit, and you're gonna fucking be paralyzed and
He's
all
like,
this."
God damn it, Cully, shut up.
And then he just finally actually punches him and like walks off and leaves him alone.
Yes.
So there's now tension between Sally Field because she's like, "You can't do this stunt," and he's like, "I'm gonna eventually get to talk to him to doing the stunt anyway," even though he told the producers it's a 2-man job. You can't let him do it. He had this
yeah,
whole
he walked away.
Yeah, he had this whole fight.
walked
He's like,
away from
I'm
the
not
whole
going to do
thing.
Yeah,
it. This
he
is a
walked
bad
away.
idea. It's not
There
gonna
was
work.
one interim scene where some stuff happens, and then the next scene is just the producer coming back to him being a shit, even though the producer was on his side 45 seconds ago. Like, the passage of time in this movie is strange. I have a feeling a lot of it got cut of them just fucking around, but
Right.
I have a feeling like he was doing other shit, not being a stuntman for a little while,
Yeah.
and the motivation was probably my life sucks not being a stuntman,
Right.
but it was just I'm out. I had a conversation with Sally Field. I'm back in. I mean, that's it.
Well, because he storms out and goes back to the bar and gets drunk and tries to pick up one of the waitresses who's the wife of the big burly bartender / bouncer or whatever the hell he is. And he's like, yeah, whenever you hit on my wife, it's time for you to go home. And he's like, let me call you a cab. He's like, I am a cab. You can't call me a cab.
I'm
If I could
he
drive.
does a good drunk fall too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like,
I got-
I'm perfectly capable.
I've got incredible motor skills, and then stands up and just. And then cut to he's back home and he's riding his horse in
Right.
his paddock. You know,
In the middle of the fucking night.
Right,
Then Sally
yeah.
Field's like, where's Burt Reynolds? Oh, he's not in bed. He must be outside somewhere. So she looks out the window and like, oh, there's Burt on a horse. Let me grab my nightie, and she wraps herself up and then steps out the window into the yard.
100%
to go-
stunting.
Yep.
Even
Yeah.
by Sally Field,
Yes.
right out the window.
Just
very dangerous.
defenestrates herself gently by throwing her
Tenderly.
leg right. By throwing her leg over the windowsill,
Uh-huh.
sliding out the window, and then
Yep.
walks out to the paddock, and not Burt Reynolds. Well, first Burt Reynolds like prances by on the horse and goes, look, I'm riding,
Yep.
horse, horsemanship, and like turns the horse back and forth. and then he's like, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
rides the horse.
The one stunt in this movie where it's very obviously not Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right, he rides the horse and jumps over the fence. We get a quick cut to not Burt Reynolds jumping over the fence, and then cut back to actual Burt Reynolds riding the horse
What would
away
be
from
great is if in high enough fidelity we watched that again and it was Adam West.
the jump. Back to the studio. We have to go back.
I'm just saying, like, that would have been actually an amazing thing for a stuntman to do. Be like, hey,
That would be pretty funny.
how good can you ride horses, Adam
Yeah.
West?
It's weird that he didn't do this one simple horse jump over part of a fence thing.
He does all sorts of other horse stunts.
Yeah, because like during the stunt spectacular for the kids, he's he's on a horse and the horse is on its hind legs.
Oh yeah, he full on high ho silvers.
Yeah.
That horse several times.
Yeah, which is just as dangerous.
Right.
But yeah.
But anyway, yes, and then he
mounts
plows
Sally
her,
Field.
plows her fields.
He does, yes. He tills her field.
He sullies her fields.
Yeah, he puts his digits in her gidgets.
Whoa! Whoa!
I don't know.
That's filthy.
He has some flying fun. I don't know.
His place is in her heart.
There were a lot of trees around, so it was kind of like a forest hump.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
He gets a little Aunt Lay.
Is that all of them? We got them all out?
No, probably not.
yeah.
Mackie, you got any?
Norma Ray.
Yes.
Well played.
Very good.
Good.
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both went on strike.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But the horse watches them fuck.
Right. Yeah. Like you do as a horse.
Man, that's what horses do.
Of course.
In the first scene, the horse drank a beer.
He did.
Bert
true.
gave him a
Did.
beer.
Yeah.
Fucking bucked its head and chugged
By the way,
that thing.
there are a million bottles or cans of Coors in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Coors.
This movie is littered with just Burt Reynolds reference.
Yes.
Like, every Burt Reynolds reference you can think of is in this movie. Like, there is a 77 Trans Am as the titular, not titular, but as the
rocket
stunt car, the
yeah.
rocket car. He wears this fucking badass Firebird jacket that I desperately want.
Yeah, it's like almost like the Ryan Gosling Drive jacket,
Yep.
but with all Firebirded up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Coors cans all over the place.
Sally Field.
Sally Field.
Yeah. It really is. It's like if Burt Reynolds' career had the same sort of like international fame kind of trajectory, but he stayed a stuntman. This is basically like the alternate reality Burt Reynolds story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's like we're paying tribute to stuntman Burt Reynolds. He's probably pretty charismatic. Here's his story. Don't you like him? Isn't he fun?
Yeah.
Isn't he really better than that Adam West fellow? Yeah.
But anyway, yes. So
Also, it's weird because at one point they were in the weird James Bond lore. Adam West was up for James Bond at one point.
weird.
It's
Yeah. That's strange.
it is. It's all very strange.
But he's back on, and then of course she does if you go do this stunt, I won't be there. I won't be here when you get back, kind of thing. But then it's like day of, they're on set, and she and her dad who's okay to be on crutches now, is out of the
He's
hospital.
fine.
And Cully's there, and they all ride up, and they do this whole thing. Like someone dramatic is like, "You want to go see him?" She's like, "After,
Yeah.
I'll see him after."
I'll see the corpse.
And they've done several things where it's like, yeah, if we don't hit this thing just right, like we're gonna hit the side of the cliff. And
Oh, they went. So they went and looked at the bridge, and they were
Alright,
like,
yeah.
"Man, I don't know about this." And Bert's like, "Let's go drink." And he's like, "You don't drink, do you?" And he's like, "Probably a good time to start." So they go down to the beach, and there's just a pile of Coors behind
a
them.
pyramid of cans, in
And
pale
just
moonlight.
a cop just pulls up and is just like, "So, these your beers?" And Jan Michael Vincent's like, "Listen, you old fart." And Bert's like, "Whoa, hold on. Listen, officer.
I got this.
I called my mom. She's going to come get us and take us home. We're just going to leave this car here." And so later, it cuts to them driving down the road, and they come upon the officer. And the officer's like, "Hey, you pull over." And Bert's, "What's that?" "Pull over?"
No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for asking.
Yeah.
And then Bert's like, all right, let's hit it.
Yeah,
Hits
so-
the fucking the rocket car button, and they just take the fuck off. And the cop's like, oh.
Yeah, he's picking up. He's like, "Son of a bitch!"
Starts the radio, and
he's
it's like, "Never mind."
"Never mind."
Telling you, man. They should be at every post office in California. Be on the lookout for these fucking maniacs.
Really should be, but yes. But anyway, they're on to the final scene. Like they've, Cully and Jocko have showed up and be like, "You're going to be okay. You're going to do this." And Sally Field's like, "I'm not going to see him until after see his burnt Reynolds when this is all over." But they load up and like they're very unrealistically filming this. Like they have 30 cameras and they're doing this whole crazy thing in one shot.
This is absolutely pure fucking nonsense.
Sure, absolutely. But they are supposed to drive this car through the middle of all of the shit blowing up, cars crashing everywhere, just stunt spectacular. There are 2 brick chimney things that are supposed to fall down, and one of them is supposed to barely miss the car, which it does.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, realistically, like
That's a good stunt.
This is multiple shots. It's shown in the movie that they're doing this all at once. Just one take, go here, do this, miss this person, almost get set on fire. Like, there's one explosion that like looks like it napalms the back of the car because it just sticks to the car for a while and it drives away. And they keep going, and like the whole time, Bert's like, pressure's dropping. It's only at 1,400. It's supposed to be at 1,500 psi for them to make this jump. And he's like, it's at 1,100, and they're lining up for the bridge. There is a tanker truck which like collapses this actual bridge.
Yeah, they blow up the bridge.
Yeah, they blow up this actual bridge, and which creates a perfect ramp. And they're about to do the stunt, and J. Michael Vince is like, "We don't have enough pressure. We can't do it." And Burt Reynolds like, "Fuck the pressure, go!" Because he's like full on Death Wish mode now.
Yeah,
and
he really is. It's like, come on, kid, let's fucking die.
And then eventually he's just like, "Yeah, right, you're right. Let's, fortune favors the bold or whatever." And
we're stuntmen. Let's do this fucking thing.
And they gun it, and they rocket car across this fucking chasm.
Yep.
And land on the wheels, kind of side. I mean, it's not the worst. It's a pretty good landing considering what they did.
Yes.
It's better than a car would actually do, which would be just disintegrate. But they land sort of sideways on the wheels, careen, kind of come to a stop, and then everyone runs up and like, "You okay?" And they both look dead in the first shot, and then they just like Sally Field comes running up and like
she pushes everyone out of the way and drags.
And he's
Burt
just
Reynolds
like
out of the car.
he's just like comatose, and all of a sudden it's just like he shakes off the what the fuck just happened, and then it's fine.
He's like, "Oh, Sally Field, you're here.
Yeah.
Brian Keith, you're here too. Yay, everything's fine."
Right. And they just kind of like, whoo, they go to like look at the chasm, and Robert Klein goes like over there like, "That was the most amazing stunt. I'm so sorry I've been an asshole, but I have a dream, and you're a big man, and you'll accept my apology. And this is the first like, Smoking the Bandit style, like, let's break the fourth wall, Burt Reynolds shit that happens. But
he did it once earlier.
Did he? I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't notice him wink at the camera before this.
I think he did it in the bar fight.
Yeah, there's
Did he?
one point where he looks at the camera.
Yeah.
I must have missed
But
that.
he
But
does
it's
it-
not as obvious as this one is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he does it twice in rapid succession because like he like the guy's like, "Do you accept my apology?" And he turns and looks at us and then rears back and just punches him dead in the face. And Robert Klein does this real goofy take as he falls back on this pole, just frozen in punch. And then Burt walks over to his friends, and they all just arm in arm walk off. And then Burt just turns to the camera and gives an okay sign.
Yep. And freeze frame, movie's over.
Yep.
Yeah, he looked at the camera when they told him the kid was doing the stunt the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks at the
okay.
camera and like yanks his jacket down. Kinda, in
right,
that one
yeah.
scene.
Yep.
Which I was like, wait, what?
He rips it open like he had an overcoat over his suit, and he rips it open like he's flashing the camera, but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
There's-
yes,
we
it ends on a Burt freeze frame.
Yeah, we barely scratched the surface of like all the good interstitial stuff in between the stunting.
There is so much.
There's so much good.
They should really remake Stuntman Ignition into a good game and call it Hooper, the game,
Yep.
Yes.
and use just wholesale lift lines from Burt Reynolds or get a
Well, and recreate this final stunt.
yeah.
Just that is, make
Well,
it.
I cannot believe that there is no like Hal Needham DLC in Stuntman Ignition.
Well, Stuntman Ignition was pretty.
Crappy.
Well, it was, but it was also. I'm pretty sure if we went back, there will be some vague references that are pretty close to this kind of like, because there's some dumb hillbilly movie in that you're doing stunts for. But yeah.
Yeah, but they also need to make the game good.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyhow,
There is one thing when they're actually like the technical advisor is like explaining like what's going to blow up where, and just to show how little of a shit Burt Reynolds gives. There's one point where they get to like the big stunt and they say something like, "You're all right. You're gonna jump over this big crack or something like that,
Oh, this big crevice.
Yeah, this big crevice, and he just like turns to somebody and does like the little like licky lick motion,
Yeah.
just like with his tongue.
Yeah,
And
he just
he's
turns to
like,
James
yeah, he's
Best
like
and
big
just
crack,
like,
huh? Yeah,
It's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, dude.
yeah. But yeah, it's just like he gets so little of a shit. It's like they're explaining the step by step, pyrotechnics and everything that are about to happen. And,
Yeah.
But
Burt Reynolds knows what's up.
and since we're at rating point, we should probably point out there are not one, but two Stargrove songs in this song.
Stargrove.
In this
Yeah.
movie here.
Yeah, there's the Tammy Wynette one,
Mhm.
and then the closing one.
Yep.
Yeah, the closing credits. It had a credit.
Earl Scruggs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Name is Hooper.
No, it was it was just some dude. I looked. He
Yeah.
had a credit, but I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yep.
But yeah, there are two. The Tammy Wynette song, I believe, is when he's riding the horse in the
It is.
paddock and is about
And he
to
rides Sally.
Yeah, ride Sally ride.
The love theme from Hooper.
Yeah,
Brent Migan.
Yeah.
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 But yes,
Big hit.
two Stargroves. I mean, we only awarded a single Stargrove because that's how it works. But
I mean,
technically,
It qualifies twice.
we can
yes.
give
It
it
gets Stars Grove.
Yes,
we
Yes.
can give it
a Stargrove with an asterisk.
we can give one Stargrove to Burt Reynolds and one Stargrove to Hooper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's a funny rating. Stargrove. Yeah.
guess other ratings.
You guys are just doing Norm Macdonald doing Burt Reynolds. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the way that we do.
That's how society works now.
We can't help it. I
No.
all of my other impressions from like 1992 on are Dana Carvey based. So
Yep. It is true.
Yeah. That's just what
No
happens.
one actually knows what George Bush Sr. spoke like.
No.
They only know
It's
what Dana
impossible
Carvey
to know.
spoke
Well,
like.
you watch a modern like Illumination cartoon, kids are going to be so fucked up because the references in that are like 15 layers deep. Like I don't remember which one it was, but there's literally the one that you want from Grease is in there, and it's like they're going to have no fucking concept of what any of this means. Like their reference is going to be that's from that movie,
Illumination cartoon.
like the Minions people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
All that bullshit.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I've seen parts of it because I have
Oh,
young
yeah.
nieces and nephews.
same here.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper. Anyway,
Let's rate this bitch.
Yeah.
I'll go. I haven't gone first in
Yeah.
a while.
Okay.
I fucking love Hooper. It's 5 jocks.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I fucking love I adore this movie. Actually, yeah, it's everything. Like when we did Vanuary, it occasionally swept over me where it was like this wave of nostalgia for a time period that I didn't actually live in. It was like a fucking tsunami for this movie. Like it was 2 scenes in, and I was like, look, here's the weird thing. Like there are phrases dropped and problematic things said,
Yes.
but it's like
About twice.
but it's weird because it's like it's actually nearly prophetic. Like
Yeah, in context,
Right.
it's not really rude. It's just the word
Yeah,
used is rude, but it's
right.
like the concept of it is like
there are several things that happen in this movie where I was like, this movie's fucking weird because it's like the future because there was a conversation about like I'll just without using the word I will say like there's a point where Jocko is like basically saying like, why don't you marry my daughter? Like, don't you want to get married and have kids? He's like, everyone's getting married. It's like even gay people are getting married. Of course he uses it's not a nice word, but it's
Right.
like he's just matter of fact stating it.
Yeah.
And it's like at the time this movie was made, that wasn't really happening
No.
much.
Not-
I mean,
not
not
much.
not in an official capacity for sure.
No.
I mean, maybe perhaps in California, but it was just kind of like he's just like, dude, everyone's getting married. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's not like it wasn't like he was like, oh, them. It was just like, and then there's a point where Ski rides in on a fucking electric skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, or I mean, I'm sure not electric, but fucking like
It was a
a
little
powered skateboard
gas-powered
thing. And I was
skateboard.
just like, holy shit! Like this fucking movie, like it's so weird. It's like it. They say history comes in like sine waves or something, but like this is just like, holy shit! This movie was so close to like now, like But anyway,
And yet, what's strange about it is like the music in it is from like it wants you to think like this is like still 1940s Hollywood.
Yeah, the music is very odd. Aside
Yeah.
from our Stargroves, like the actual score itself.
Yeah, there's
is
no
weird
contemporary sounding music in it. Like some of it gets marchy, kind of like here come the stunts, but a lot of it is just like 1940s, clowns
Well, I mean,
jumping in barrels and shit.
To be fair, also, the stunts they were mostly showing, besides whatever the fuck the spy movie they were shooting was, nobody was doing cowboy stunts in 1978. There was not a large, not classic like horses rolling over. Those kind of movies were fucking done.
Yeah.
There were no Roman movies being everything. All
Right,
the
yeah.
stunts they were doing were from like 40s and 50s
Yeah,
movies.
it's like every Saturday Night Live skit that takes place in the hallway where it's just like everyone's dressed up as weird characters. Like, who the fuck are all you people? What show are you on?
Right. Well, and there
it's
was
like
there
the
was,
back lot is just a cavalcade of stunt.
there was
people.
that too, because there was like a guy with like the wiggly Martian
Yeah.
antennas and like a gypsy fortune teller walking side by
Yeah,
side.
it's
Just
just
like, "Rah, rah,
there are
Hollywood."
all things at all times on a movie set.
I took it like I take Three Amigos, where it's like it's in this general time,
Right.
It's just like the first and I think like time has been kinder to the movie because now it's just like, yeah, old Hollywood was like this, filming 3 movies, 3 concurrent sets, whatever. I mean, it's not realistic, but it's like Three Amigos. It's like that wasn't really silent movie times. Like Mexico was more advanced than this by then. It was like there's lots of things where it's just like, close enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's called suspension of disbelief.
Right.
Bert is so great in this. It's like we don't have a Bert these days that's like kind of a cad, but you still like him anyway.
Ryan
Because-
Reynolds, sort of, but he's
Sort
just
of.
smarmy.
He's
yeah,
close.
But
Yeah.
Bert,
I know.
I don't.
No, I'm
feel
not.
that-
I'm not comparing.
Yeah, I don't feel that Bert is smarmy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just kind of like he's got this charisma that lets him get away with so many things and just being a dick to people. But everyone's like, we're buds anyway. It's like he's teasing everyone else in the movie. But it always feels good natured, even if it comes off like if you say, the whole like all the short jokes he tells that guy.
so good.
Like, if you don't say them as Burt Reynolds, it sounds like, man, that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
But when Burt says them, you're just like, that's Burt, isn't it?
He's
You know-
fun, isn't he?
Well, the stunt woman that they rescue from the burning car, he's literally biting her on the ass as
Yeah.
he's carrying out, and she's just like, "Oh, you!"
Yeah.
Because that's just who Bert was.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
it's- this whole everything about him in this movie is effortless. It's like he's just gliding through the movie, and like the
But
movie,
it doesn't look lazy.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't look lazy at all. I mean, he's putting in the work, but the work looks super easy for him because he has so much charisma, and like the movie kind of dips into heavy drama on for like a scene for a couple of scenes, and it's like it's not. You don't suddenly disbelieve the fact that Burt Reynolds is now super serious and is taking the moment seriously. I mean, he's not a fantastic actor, but when certain moments call for it, he can do what needs to be
Yeah.
done, and it doesn't seem fake.
Right.
What's weird to me, like that scene in the hospital where he's, talking to Brian Keith, and he's, just it's effortless charisma. This entire movie,
Yep.
like he's just so
He's hanging on the pull-up bar.
he's hanging
Yeah.
on that triangle-shaped pull-up bar that you always see in hospitals and movies, but never actually see in real life. He's just got his arm on the crossbar of that, and he's just leaning in and giving him kind of a like, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Smile, and it's just fucking charm out the ears
Well,
in
and,
that scene
like-
somehow. But it's not him putting it on. It's
No,
just him
it's
being
just him.
Yeah.
But like he does a thing right before he grabs onto that, which is that he moves it slightly so that it's not blocking his face for the camera shot. He just he moves it awkwardly to where like you wouldn't be hanging on it at an angle, but that's what he does. He kind of moves it a little bit, and it's not in his face where the camera is. It's like he just so casually does it. No human being would do that, but it's like, yeah, okay, Bert would do that. That makes. I mean, it's just he just seems so. I mean, he's made some bad movies. He's made a lot of bad movies, but it just seems so effortless. And you look at this movie in particular, and you're like, yeah, I can see how that guy was just a ridiculous
Huge star, right.
Like just
Yeah,
how
well, he was
everyone just wanted to be around him.
He was a top-grossing movie star for like
5
years straight. Yeah.
5 years. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's that character you want to be around. Like you want to be in the orbit of this person.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned it. Like when he's showing his stunt reel at the party, there's straight up parts of Deliverance.
Oh yeah, just clips from Deliverance.
It's like
and
it's
that.
like the him going down the rapids in Deliverance, like without the raft part.
Yeah.
You know, when it was yeah.
more Burt Reynolds stunts.
Anyway,
It's great. I hate to disappoint on my rating, so I'm not gonna. It's 5 jocks.
Yeah.
This is fucking
All right.
awesome. I loved
Yeah.
almost every frame of this movie. And it's not just like riding the Burt Reynolds hype train because he's fucking dead. This is legitimately.
yeah. I was afraid for this because I was like,
Yeah.
this is so a lot of these when we try to do this, it ends up
Yeah.
in retrospect it feels disrespectful.
Right. We are a bad movie.
I mean,
Fiends
and to be
podcast,
fair,
so
we
it
were
kinda happens.
we were, you know, we've changed. We've changed as people. Early on, we sometimes kind of did that as a joke, like, yeah, let's
trash this person.
Well, not trash it, but like let's just pick a shitty movie out of their catalog, that thing that they're not known for. We just got really lucky that it was like we legitimately wanted to see this movie.
Oh, we could have. I
Oh,
mean, we could have
absolutely.
paid tribute to Burt with some truly horrendous shit.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
there's plenty of later day
Yeah.
things to go with.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just there's not anything to dislike about it, with the one exception of, you know, the one gay slur. That's probably the worst thing, and it wasn't really a mean-spirited thing. So
Yeah.
I hate to, you know, I can't necessarily just excuse it, but it's a thing that happened at the time, and we've moved on from that, and we're all better people, right? Right.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it's almost forgivable just because it's like he was making a kind of beautiful point in a way of like
Yeah. Everyone-
I mean, it was just like it's poor choice of word, but it's just like it's like your grandpa coming around and saying the wrong thing but meaning the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
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 It's
It's like, you know, like saying the what was acceptable at the time that sounds awful now.
Yeah.
Phrase.
right.
You know.
Right. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this movie. It is a lot of fun. It is peak Burt Reynolds. Everybody else is wonderful. Sally Field is doing everything that Sally Field should do, which is be weird and cry sometimes. And yeah, it's great. I was not necessarily expecting this, and when this movie started with that sort of long scene, I'm like, God, what kind of, like, are we gonna get like Burt Reynolds acting all washed up and shitty
On drugs.
on
and just-
drugs?
yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck,
Sneaking perks.
right. I hope it's not that kind of thing, but it turned out it
Yeah.
was completely the opposite. Just
Yeah. And
wonderful.
obviously, I agree. It's a five jocks movie. It's not a 5-star movie. Don't get me wrong, but
No.
it's for what we do, and I think also given the fact that he just passed away, I thought I was going to be on an island here and just be like, this is a 5 jocks movie because Burt's so amazing, but no, I mean it's a really fun movie.
Yep.
It's as much nonsense as Stunt Rock was. It just has Burt instead of Rock.
Well, and I think that might be what happened to Burt, is like he was just, I'm making fun movies.
Yeah.
And, and as time went on, it was like, no, you can't make those anymore.
Well, I
You
mean,
know.
we already made the comparison, but like, I will still fight anybody that like says Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, shit like that was bad. It's like, no, like it's the argument that they have in High Fidelity. It's like, do the sins of later artists, to negate the
Yeah.
great things of their past? It's like, no, it's like he made some funny ass movies. He made a couple of funny ass albums. Yeah, he might be like
Which
fucking
basically everyone our age
Yeah.
knows those.
Yeah, he
fucking
may be
Adam Sandler comedy
phoning
albums.
in every performance he's done for the last 10 years, but whatever. That's you. That's on you, man. Like, if you get tired and don't care anymore, we're not going to either. And I feel like maybe Burt's career was just like, yeah, another movie where we're just having fun, and people are like, I don't really want to see that.
Well,
Yeah.
and I can see how he got bitter.
Sure.
Because I mean,
Yes.
he was like the biggest star in the world, and
Sure.
you
When
get
that slips away.
you get accustomed to that.
I don't know what it was like. 10 years later, he's on a TV show, which at the time was just like a fucking insult.
At the time, yeah.
I mean, it's not now because now TV's like, hey, TV's good. But,
Yeah, it was a Burt Reynolds sitcom. You're just like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like that was probably the beginning of like true bitterness, and
Yeah.
it's a shame that unfortunately he didn't appreciate that he was put in one of the finer films of the 90s, and
Yeah.
doesn't
I hope he
I-
came to terms with that. I mean, I hope he was at peace with the fact that he was in a great movie and gave a great performance, because everything surrounding his interviews around that time were just like, man, Bert, you don't get it.
Yeah, I honestly think like that he was just like, this guy's taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
This whole
Yeah.
movie thing, and just couldn't get over that.
Yeah.
Because like I would think Paul Anderson is like going to be a pretty serious person on set about like what he wants, and
Sure.
someone like Bert's just like used to having all the power and being like, hey, we're all hanging out on set, and I'm going to wink at the camera and
Yeah.
whatever.
I imagine like that would him getting cast in Boogie Nights is probably like if he'd gotten cast in like The Shining, like trying to work with someone like Kubrick and just be like, you're giggling. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm one step away from Hitchcock. You're a cattle. Like you're do what I fucking say, and it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is some prime fun Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what you want.
Yep. And maybe one day you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying if you can find the out of print DVD, go for it. But seek it out however you can.
Yeah.
And get with the program, movie studios.
Yeah.
I don't generally condone that, but if you don't make it available, seek a way.
Mm-hmm.
Life finds a way.
It sure does.
So, well, let's take a quick break, shall we?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Do you have any more Burt things you want to talk about? Either in the break or in the second
No,
half?
I've got 2 quick movies. They're
Yeah.
not Bert movies.
Oh, okay. Well, I would go on record because we're talking overall Burt. Like, you should watch White Lightning's pretty good, but Gator's the movie you want to see.
Yeah.
Like, but you need to watch White Lightning first.
Right. Because it establishes Gator
Yes,
McCluskey.
but Gator is like the airboat crazy shit you want to see.
Yeah. He directed Gator.
Yeah.
Gator McCluskey.
And the first Smoking the Bandit's awesome.
2 is funny. 2 is not as good as the first movie, but 2 has a lot of good jokes in it.
Yeah.
Because it's a...
I like that he showed up on Archer
Yeah.
as himself.
Yeah. And Archer's just like, you're fucking Burt Reynolds. Yeah. He has the same reaction to him that you do in Saints Row the Third.
Yeah.
We're just like, you're fucking Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. And, I mean, Smoking the Bandit movies are fun. And Cannonball Run's fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're silly.
We're going to watch Cannonball Run.
Who is?
We
We
are.
are an extra? Or
No.
all of us?
No, all of us.
Okay.
Not next week or anything. but
Spoilers.
All right.
Just no reason not to.
I mean, isn't it long? It's not long?
99 minutes, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or less than that. I think the second one's stupid long for some weird reason.
Okay.
But yeah, the first one fits our rule.
How's that?
And that it's under...
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. I guess I just never at any point considered that bad. I mean, it was commercially successful. It's kind of beloved, Like, I don't just I'm under our rules, I'm kind of wondering how it qualifies as bad. Maybe review-wise, it wasn't great, but...
What movie?
it was fucking savaged.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
What movie?
That's a 1-star we're in right there. I mean, that's...
Okay.
Yeah, people
Which
like,
one?
Cannonball Run.
First Cannonball Run.
Oh, yeah, people are like, man, what the fuck are all these people doing? Hanging out, having fun? Boo. Fuck that.
Okay. I guess
There was a real backlash around that time. Like, people were just like, hey, how dare you? How dare you have fun? I want... people were like the fucking Robert Klein character. Just like, no. And that's, like, one thing that doesn't make sense to me is that this fucking art house director guy is directing the spy who fucking,
laughed at danger.
Yeah. He's
Even
dropping Lestrada
yeah, I was gonna say,
references.
even,
And
he's like, it's all foggy like
Yeah.
Lestrada.
it's like, why... One, you don't act like you're slumming doing this, but 2, you're acting like you're way above all of this, and like your fucking movie is a nonsense. Adam West is the star of your movie. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens in the second half. Let's let it roll.
who's got stuff? You have one thing?
I can talk if you want to. I just, it's like
Well,
a combo.
I'll leave
We're
my friends
running
behind.
late
I'm
already.
saying, like,
so.
My 2 things are short.
Yeah. I'll plow through it. It'll be quick.
Okay. How new is it?
It's not new at all.
Okay.
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 So, yeah, you can go ahead first.
All right.
All right, and welcome back.
Hey, welcome back to the BMFcast.
Hey, check it out.
Hey.
Number 2.
Hey.
Hey.
So I think it's be sort of a short half. We've been playing video games and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're working. We're both.
I watched a couple things.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Weird rando stuff. I filled in a gap in my film knowledge. I watched 1991's New Jack City.
Okay.
I had never
Man.
seen New Jack City.
New Jack City.
So I had some misconceptions about New Jack City. I thought it was one of the super serious, gritty, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society type things.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's goofy. That movie's goofy. Wesley Snipes is straight up a Batman villain in that.
Yeah, I mean it's not a street level thing. It's like crazy, like high level.
Yeah.
Naked women doing cocaine or making cocaine
Right.
things. Yeah.
But the weird thing about it is that like New Jack City has been kind of referenced and parodied so many times over the years that watching it feels a little like a comedy. There are parts of it that are still super relevant, and there are other parts that are just like, this is fucking dumb. Like, this is a joke, right? Like, this is you guys are being funny. I'm unclear as to what you're trying to do here. It's very entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's just odd. It's odd that because it's something that has been since done 900 times, and both seriously and comedically. Plus, it's a little hard taking Chris Rock seriously as a drug addict because it feels like a skit. And I feel like he, in a skit, has made fun of this movie. Like maybe when he was on In Living Color or something, and I'm just like, I feel like I've seen this somewhere else, but not meant to be serious. So this is odd.
Yeah.
But
When was Chris Rock on In Living Color? Like as a guest?
right after Saturday Night Live.
SNL.
Really?
Yeah.
I must have
He
missed
quit
that period.
SNL and he was on In Living Color for about a year.
I must have stopped watching by that point.
I
Yeah.
think everyone had.
Okay.
Yeah, the show was not in vogue right and then. But yeah,
Was it TLC?
yes.
All right.
But yeah, it's weird. I'm always up and down on Wesley Snipes. Like I think he's the worst thing in Demolition Man. I think that his performance in Demolition Man is laughable. I think it's bad. It's just him screaming the whole time, and it's not very good. His performance in this is amazing.
Okay.
Like watching him in this, I was super impressed with Wesley Snipes. So,
Okay. I guess I should probably rewatch it at some
I mean,
point.
I also am probably a little biased by all the stories that came out during the Blade movies, where
Blade
he was
Trinity?
yeah, where
Yeah.
he was just sitting in his trailer all and smoking weed and wouldn't come out, and everyone was making fun of him. But yeah, you should watch New Jack City. It's surprisingly good. It's really interesting when they just introduce crack, like, hey, we've got this new stuff called crack. We should do that. And it's like, yeah, duh, crack. And you're like, oh, wait, no, this is where it started. All right, fine. So it's interesting. I also watched an anime.
Oh, wow.
What?
What is happening?
What?
What?
What is happening here?
Are we turning into weebaboos?
Although it's really more of a manga than an anime.
Wait, so you read an anime?
No, it's based on a
it's based on a manga.
that
That still makes it an anime.
may have
instead of
become
an
an anime. Anyway, I watched the 2009 version of Astro Boy.
What?
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 Yeah,
I didn't. What is that?
I watched Astro Boy.
I don't even know this one.
It's a kid with rockets on his feet and a weird haircut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he looks like Bob's Big Boy
Wasn't
Burger.
Nicolas Cage involved in that in some way?
Yes, which is the primary reason I watched
Okay.
Astro Boy. He is first of all, the cast of that movie's loaded. Like
Okay.
it's him and Nicolas Cage and Charlize Theron, and just like you look at the cast and you're like, what the fuck? Of course I have to watch this. And then you realize, oh wait, it's an anime.
A Japan
Story of my life, man.
Is it actually an anime?
I'm like, man, that sounds awesome. And then, oh wait, it's an anime.
Okay,
Like, is it actually made in Japan, or was it like Americans were like, hey, we're making the thing based on a Japanese
here's what's
thing?
super weird about
Okay.
it. It's a U.S. Hong Kong co-production with a super British level of sense of humor. Like half the cast is British. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
If it's made in Hong Kong, it's not an anime.
But yeah, I mean,
I know. I understand
purest
by
definition.
definition. I'm
It's
just
a
basing it.
Chinamation.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, but it's overall okay. It's fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine. It is a watchable story. It seems very basic. There are some parts of it that might be a little problematic for kids because it does basically involve this kid getting killed and turned into a rocket boy.
that seems like best case scenario to me.
It really is.
Yeah.
But my main problem with it is that Nicolas Cage is basically a grieving father in this, and so therefore he's just sad, detached Nicolas Cage in this. And why the fuck do you hire Nicolas Cage to do a voice in your fucking anime if he's not going to be screaming into the mic the whole time?
He probably demanded to be a voice in this
don't-
animated film.
I don't doubt it, but there are other characters he could have done. And so my level of excitement was dashed when he was just fucking mopey cartoon man the whole time. Like, why did you hire him for this? This doesn't... who cares? But yeah, the big bad is Donald Sutherland, who's just, by the end, a giant-ass robot destroying a city, which just seems weird.
That seems accurate for Donald Sutherland.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. It's perfectly acceptable.
Well, that's
I went and read some
recommendation.
reviews after it, and it was like, man, this is fucking trash. And I went, really? It's not that. It's fine.
Okay.
So I just really wanted to tell a story where it started. I watched an anime just to get everyone's reactions.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a swerve, but we'll let you.
It's
I'll let you have
it counts.
Fine, it counts. I have absolutely no segue into what I've watched. I'll just jump in. Okay, so what happened? What was the series of events? Like I was
Was it a series of unfortunate events?
It wasn't. I just somehow when I was not feeling well, I decided I'm gonna rewatch Flight of the Conchords, the TV show from HBO.
Oh, comfort.
Yeah, just
Stuff,
like
yeah.
and the thing is like I got almost all the way to the first season. All of a sudden, I went, I don't remember this episode, and then the second season started, and I was like, I don't think I've seen any of these episodes. So a show
Oh,
that
man.
I thought I had consumed in its entirety, I apparently never finished, and now I have, and it's great, and I recommend it. I mean, if you are in the club, like, I feel like there are several comedic cliques of people that are like, oh, well, this person's related to this person, and like they all know each other. It's like there's like the Apatow universe, then there's like the Mr. Show Troy Miller universe, and this is part of that.
Okay.
Like Troy Miller directed a bunch of these episodes, and it's very much in the same style as like the Tenacious D episodes that they did for HBO.
Oh, right.
Like the short things they did after Mr. Show.
Yeah.
It's almost like the same formula. Like the opening stuff is almost exactly the same, and it's very similar plot wise in that like they have these flights of fancy where it's like they are much better musicians than they appear when they're actually doing gigs, and that's kind of the whole shtick of it is like you'll watch this amazing music video, but it's all in their heads, and then when they go perform, it's kind of shitty, and nobody likes it except for Kristen Schaal, who's like their only fan, and she's great in the whole series. Anyway, and also it's several, I think there's 3 or 4 episodes that are directed by Taika Waititi.
Oh.
Taika Waititi. I'm going to get his name right eventually.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can see the origins of him too, like the New Zealand clique, if you will.
Okay.
But that kind of just spawned me into, like, I was like, fuck, this is great. I can't believe I didn't see all these episodes, to thinking about what they've done post that, and then going, oh yeah, one of them has an Oscar. And what do they have an Oscar for? The first of the supposed Muppet movie reboots, the Jason Segel Muppets, just called The Muppets Movie. He won an Oscar for that. Brett McKenzie did.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I believe Jermaine Clement was up for an Oscar for the sequel, but it didn't win.
Oh.
Because he wrote some songs for the second one, which is kind of strange.
Second one's not very good.
Yeah, it's not as good. But I basically went and rewatched that and the 2 new ones.
Oh, okay.
And I just, that's the end of that. I mean, again, yeah, Muppets Most Wanted, it's not nearly, it pales in comparison to the Muppets. I think the Muppets, if you are even remotely a fan of all things Muppets, that is an amazing movie. Like, that is,
yeah, that's hammering your nostalgia bone pretty
yeah,
hard.
and but like in like one of the best ways, like in a almost like a Force Awakens kind of way, where it's like, well, you're just doing the thing. It's like, yeah, but it's different enough, and they're aware, and shut up and just go with it.
Yeah.
Kind of way.
Well, the fact that they have to get a ridiculous number of somethings at the end to do the thing they're trying to do, and they don't, and then they just get this small local fervor, this group of people who are just like, yay, the Muppets. It's like, okay, well, that's good enough.
Yeah, I fucking adore that movie. I mean, like, everyone is so good in it. The songs are clever as shit. I mean, yeah, the needle drop ones are sometimes a little obvious, like, the ones that aren't original songs, but the original songs are fantastic. There are so many good songs in that, and I mean, Jason Segel's great. Amy Adams is a joy, just a fucking delight in that movie. Chris Cooper is hamming it up just right. It's so good, and if for some reason you were just like Muppets, who gives a fuck? And they made that not so good TV show, but God,
Yeah.
go back and watch that movie. It's so good. I mean, I'm sure I am 100% the perfect age with that because I grew up watching the show. I grew up watching all of the original 3 or 4 movies that are good. Like I was so the target market for that movie, and I hope other people can have it. But it's just so good.
Well,
I should watch that.
I mean, didn't the Muppets continue the weird ending of the Muppets Take Manhattan where they're kind of married?
Yeah, it's like they at some point they went, "What was this even legal?" Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even really ask you; it just sort of happened,
Right.
and then like they're broken. They start off broken up. It's like it exists in the post
Yes.
Muppets Take Manhattan universe.
Okay, good.
The only other one I think it even remotely acknowledges is Muppets from Space because Gonzo says something like "People of Earth, I've come here," and they're like,
Right.
that's the only time they originally established that Gonzo is he's a fucking alien. That's
Right.
like the only acknowledgement other than the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Is just like he says something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But Muppets from Space is actually
I
pretty
consider
good.
Muppets from Space part of the canon.
I do too, and actually Muppet Christmas Carol's got one of my favorite lines of all Muppet things.
Well, those are fine, but they're the Flights of Fancy. They're
Yeah, I mean the Treasure Island one's good only because of Tim Curry. But otherwise it's not that good. But like, if you haven't seen Muppet Christmas Carol, I mean it's not a spoiler because if you don't know the fucking story of Christmas Carol, get the fuck off this planet. But I'm just saying, like, how
real.
you shouldn't be downloading podcasts if you don't know how a Christmas Carol goes. But like my favorite line in that is like Rizzo the Rat is narrating the end of that movie, and they're like, and Tiny Tim, and he goes, "Who did not die?" And just the way he's like parentheses. It's so fucking good.
yeah.
But yeah, Muppets. I think it's 2011. That movie's so goddamn good. That's
Is that old already?
yeah.
And I still haven't seen it.
It's so good.
You should see it.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's got like it's almost got Joss Whedon levels of humor at points. Like
It's clever. I mean, it's really
it's
clever.
really clever. Like there's a line in a song like, and I say Joss Whedon because like most people would say like it's more like Frozen. And it's like if you rewatch Frozen. Not only will Deadpool 2 tell you that they stole songs directly from Yentl, but like, but there's literally a line that they straight up stole from a Joss Whedon from the Once More with Feeling episode that everyone laughed at, where we finished each other's sandwiches. Is the exact same line from a Joss Whedon thing.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a line in this happy ass fucking Muppet number where everybody's walking by and just saying something random, and they turn it into part of the song lyric. And this one guy walks by and goes, "Life's a fillet of fish," and they're just like, "Yes, it is," because they don't have any. They're like, "Sure."
Yep.
Yeah, it's so goddamn good.
Yeah. The thing that makes that first reboot or return really good is that they had to try so hard to get it back and relevant again.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, okay, it's relevant again. We could just do whatever with the Muppets. And you're like, oh, no, guys, you can't just do another. And the Muppets have a crazy adventure, and
Right.
the Muppets have a TV show. It's like, no, you're going to have to keep.
Yeah.
You're going to have to keep doing what you did in that first one. And like when they said like Jason Segel wasn't coming back to do the second one, you were just like, oh.
Yeah. And the backstory of how he got that movie is the most hilarious thing ever.
Yes.
Like, someone saw Forgetting Sarah Marshall, the movie where he hung dong, and said, "That's the guy to make the fucking Muppets come back."
Yeah, because he made the fucking Dracula musical
Yeah.
with puppets in it. And they're like, hey, obviously, he knows what's up.
I fucking that's amazing. That's the kind of shit like when you piece it together, that's like Hollywood. I know you can be terrible, but like it's things like that. I'm like, it gives me hope. Where it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I could go on a whole rant, but it's like people have done weird things, and just because they've done a weird thing doesn't mean they can't do something kid or family friendly.
Yes, exactly.
There's a duality in a man.
And it was proven.
The whole Jungian thing.
Fucking hung out his dong in that movie, and
Yeah.
then it was like, here's a Muppet movie,
And
friend.
it's sincere as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I will stop gushing about the Muppets, but watch that movie.
Yeah.
And Fly the Conchords. I'm done. That went longer than I meant for it to.
Yeah, we have fun here.
It's okay.
I don't have anything.
I watched all the dance scenes in Step Up 3D, but in non 3D, and I was like, man, I wish I had watched those in 3D again.
Why didn't you watch them in 3D?
Yeah.
Why didn't you watch?
Because
the
I was
whole
watching
movie?
them on YouTube.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Because Jen's been into World of Dance.
Mm.
Okay.
We've watched a whole bunch of that show, which is really good. Like,
And there wasn't enough
Dance
hand
crews.
dancing in it
Yeah.
for you?
no, but
Motherfucking
I was like,
motherfucking fiction, right?
yeah, I was like, we need.
Goddamn, that dude
I
is
was-
fucking good.
Yeah, I was like, we need some stuff
Uh-huh.
like that because we were caught up. She's like, man, I'm kind of bummed about this. I'm like, hang on a second.
I got something for you.
And I was like, I need to borrow Step Up 3D because that movie's fucking insane in all the best possible ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot, like, they announced the one battle. They just, like, on screen it has a title card that says The Battle of Red Hook. And it's one of the best dance battles. And it's got that fucking guy who's able to, like, freeze his head and then move his body and his neck around while his head stays in the same place.
Oh yeah, that dude from the
I forget what he
was
he's
on
like a legend.
Yeah, he was.
among
Yeah,
that whole community.
Yeah,
but
the street dance thing. But they had that famous YouTube video where he did it's like best robot dance ever. And it's, yeah, that guy. He's so goddamn good.
yep,
I like watching dance things on YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
watched a lot of dance stuff recently, and I need to watch Step Up 3D again.
We
So
need
it
to
was way
finish.
better
We
than
need to
Step Up.
finish
Yeah,
that fight.
we
We still
do.
have one movie left.
Yeah.
Step Up All In.
Yeah.
I think we were waiting too long for hopefully like a 3D version, but now that it's not relevant anymore.
Yeah, but man, because Step Up 3D, like when you don't watch it in 3D, you realize just how much they're playing up the 3D aspect
Oh
of
god,
it.
it constantly just like
Yeah.
sliding right at you and just fucking hand dancing in
And
your
I had
face.
forgotten. I was like, man, Step Up was one of the best 3D movies that came out.
They knew what to do.
I
Yeah.
wasn't remotely going to mention it, but I started up the Step Up train again myself. I was like, I have to watch all these movies
Yeah.
again. I watched the first. I only made it through the first three, but
Well, that's as far as you should get.
no. Step Up 2 is fucking great.
No, I'm saying
Oh,
don't watch
okay.
4 until we watch 4.
No,
We
we
watched
watched 4.
four.
We need to watch 5.
That was one with the flash mobs, and it wasn't very good.
Oh,
there are 5.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't go past where we were, but I was like,
Okay.
I kept thinking like, man, it might be time to announce that we need to do the next Step Up movie. So I was kind of preparing myself.
I forgot there were
In the
so many
background.
in such a short period of time because all it is dancing. That you could just make one every 6 months and
Chuck, like all
what?
it is dancing.
Yeah. Like it's not like spaceships and
No, the guy was
Puppets.
making a documentary about everyone learning to dance.
Oh, right.
And then the other one, her family owned a lot of land, and that was bad because everyone was squatters like Rent.
Yeah. Right.
But they didn't have AIDS. They were just dancers.
That okay.
Right.
Checks out. So do we have any correspondences?
Do you know how many Step Up movies they made? 525.
No. Anyway,
I'm gonna rent you a hospital room. We
just
do
wanna
have a
note-
correspondence.
Yeah, I just wanted to note something that was left on the Patreon page, which not everyone gets to see, but it was nice to hear. It was from Emery Laserwolf, which
yeah, right away.
Laser-
yeah.
I like that. I like to think he's Dr. Emery.
Yes. PhD.
Mr. Laserwolf was my father. Thank you very much. Who just said, yours is the only shitty movie podcast I could stomach for a couple reasons. You don't love garbage for garbage sake, making recommendations useless. As in, if you like garbage for garbage sake,
Right.
recommendations become useless. You comment on and don't like racist, misogynistic, or homophobic content. You guys kick ass. Side note, I wish there was a list of all your movies and the ratings. There kind of is. There's a list of the movies on Letterboxd. We have a link to it on the site. I maintain that list and keep it updated. So, but yeah, until we redesign the site, that's not happening. And redesigning the site is not happening.
Well, we were talking about this over dinner that you did not join us
Oh.
for. We may have some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because-
I know we had ideas like a year ago, and then we were like,
no.
that takes time.
Well, the redesign of the site thing probably not happening anytime
okay.
soon. But I mean, we have them all in a Google Doc. We're just thinking about exporting because we've also got other info and stuff in there.
Yeah.
But if we export just the ratings page, we might be able to do a read-only share, so you can go look at it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we do have a full chart of every single thing we've ever rated,
Yeah, we do.
which has averages and all sorts of shit in it.
Yeah,
so
if you like
it's very-
stats.
It's very easy to pull up. Well, somebody was trying to do like a
Oh yeah, I remember someone was like, "Let's do the
God,
averages." And
yeah, like 5 years ago, they were like, I'm gonna statistics major or
Yeah.
something, and they're like, I want to mess with some stuff, and they have like deviation from the mean as far as like who rates the most controversial out of all, like all that sort of shit.
Mhm.
And
There
while
was a
we're,
lot of math that I was like, I don't understand anything you're doing, but it sounds cool. Thanks.
while we're mentioning this, this also occurred to us. We through our Discord, we had some Discord with our fans and said we are going.
We had some
No.
discussion with our
yeah.
fans.
Yeah, no.
There was no Discord.
Okay.
It's all harmonious.
All right. But somebody said, why don't we have a wiki page? And so we made a wiki page, and we're like, look, we're all too busy. We do a lot of shit. We do way too many extra bonus shows for Patreon. But here it is. It's a wiki, so if you want to go fill it in, go for it. And look, we understand. We're not begging. I realized that it was only ever really discussed in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
We've never actually said it on the show proper.
Right.
Does anybody know? Is it just bmfcast.wikia. Whatever?
Correct. BMFcast.wikia.com.
Okay.
WIKIA.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to hop on that, I mean, I'm saying that not everyone is social in the way of like wanting to chat on Discord. I know there's some people out there that just like to keep themselves and listen to us. Once we make this available, if somebody wants to be cool and make a part of the wiki page.
Yeah, like if your one main social outlet is editing Wikipedia and you're a fan of the show, why not?
Yeah. I just figured it was we
don't have to couch this in just any of our
Yeah.
fans who aren't social with us in other ways.
Sure.
Just if anybody out there
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
happens.
listen, I know what my old job was like.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all have a lot of time on your hands during the day and an internet connection.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and
I'm
that's
saying connect the dots, follow the money.
and that's all I'm saying. I'm throwing it out here because we never really announced it on the show proper. We just a fragment of people that happened to join us on our chat thing heard it there, but it was never really like an official channel. Like, hey, this exists, and if you want to,
I tried to edit it once to add all the guests that we've had on the show, and I broke the formatting and fucked it up, so it looks stupid now
okay.
because I don't understand the internet.
We're bad at interneting. Some of us, though we should probably be better.
If you read a little bit, it doesn't take a long time to get sort of how wikis work, but they are easy to mess up if you don't take the time to like.
And if you do
read
it
up.
like Mackie, it'll be wiki whack.
Yes.
It was.
But use that as your application to our theoretical BMFcast end of summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter.
How many episodes
internship
have we
program.
made? It's a lot. I said at the beginning, 437 was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus spoil cast, plus
Sure.
bonus.
I will, at minimum, anyone that goes out and creates a ratings wiki page, I will reward you at least 500 no prizes. So,
Oh, that's
There
pretty.
you go.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
pretty
that's
steep.
yeah.
How did we both decide to use steep for that? Good for us. We're in sync.
We are in sync. I'm actually more.
I think it's like some Unity. Unity.
Oh.
So anyway, but thank you, Emery Laser Wolf,
Yes.
for the kind words.
Esquire.
I'm so glad you enjoy us. Yes.
Dr. Emery Wolf.
I'm glad someone gets what we keep saying we do.
Yeah. I'm glad someone's actually listened and
Well, I mean,
parroted
no,
it back
I
at
mean,
us.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do, but it's just like I think we hammer home a lot of times is like we don't want to just fucking shit on things.
Yeah.
That's
we
just-
don't want to watch the deathbeds. We did because at one point in time it was like, this is a thing I've heard people do. Like Patton Oswalt has a whole thing about there's a deathbed movie. It just turns out it's boring as fuck and
Yes,
not our thing.
Very pretentious horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
We
yeah,
will watch these dumb bad things.
yeah, and
Well,
we
yeah,
and
and
we-
so much early on was it felt like we were obligated to watch them.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah,
it was like,
you
well,
had to get
this
your
is
street
what
cred.
we do.
yeah. But I mean, everyone. I mean, I'm not saying it's all five jocks all the time because we would lose perspective.
Exactly.
But we do need some
almost
five.
said
We've
that was
just
gonna
been
be
lucky
boring.
the past few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing all right. Although, it was only 2 episodes ago that we did fucking ballistic X versus Sever.
That's what I mean. I mean, we we got it. Sometimes we step in and we're like, yeah, this is probably not our thing, but we need some perspective.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, we're still gonna cover some bad stuff. But
Oh yeah, don't worry.
We want the good bad, the enjoyable bad.
what we want.
as in
but
one of five jocks is
Yeah.
Robo Jocks.
Sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know.
So anyway, thank you for writing us on Patreon.
Yeah, I had to dig around and like, where did this go? Like, what? Like it's like
I could only
someone-
find it in email.
Yeah, well, there's a tab on the Patreon page that says posts, and it's just people posting
Oh.
to our website,
Oh, okay,
our
okay.
Patreon page.
Yeah,
so
don't try and use Patreon's app because it's trash.
it is. It's garbage.
Atrocious. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
They should, have some sort of fundraiser to make their app better.
Perhaps they should
Yeah,
crowdsource
like people
their...
people could subscribe and donate.
Like, do
Yeah.
you enjoy what we do?
Maybe if they had changed their billing format, we would have gotten it,
Yeah, or maybe
and
100
everyone
other
would have
things.
dropped off. But yes, visit us there, patreon.com/BMFcast. If you can't, spend the money on us.
Mhm.
Spend the time and tell a friend or two.
Write a review.
Yeah, iTunes reviews are still cool.
Well, we've shit on iTunes reviews, but I mean, unfortunately,
We shit on the bad ones.
It's the 800-pound gorilla. I mean, some more reviews get you shown better in the store front. Good or bad. I mean,
Yep.
just a number. Obviously, we're not asking you to go write bad reviews because we're not masochists. But it just sucks as a format because a bad review is just like, okay, well, I have no way to respond, and that person's
Yeah.
probably already hit and run and moved on.
If you decide that you're going to write a bad review and you've listened this far, at least also email us and tell us why we suck.
Yeah.
Email us at bmf@bmfcast.com to tell us why we suck.
Yeah, give us a chance to respond.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
As we said,
Or to mock you mercilessly because you're an asshole.
Yeah, we've changed as people, so we can change our format slightly.
Yeah.
Do things slightly different. We
No.
have.
We're better.
We
I
have.
mean-
we have slowly.
I mean,
slow
we're
to
better
change.
people, but we shouldn't change for people who don't like us on iTunes.
We have subtly changed little things like what our rating system is based on.
We did, yeah,
Things
because
like that.
someone made an argument that made sense.
Yeah.
A valid point.
Yep.
So there you go.
Also, it wasn't relevant anymore.
It wasn't relevant. Yeah, that's probably the most important. But, all right.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yep.
All right.
I think so. BMFcast.com. Don't forget that.
Yeah, just all the
9105 Jocks BMF 910-556-9263.
Garfield's lonely. He hasn't gotten a call in a while.
Yeah, call the Garfield phone. You guys still use telephones, right?
If you're commuting between states, just give him a quick ring.
Yeah,
Exactly. We're missing all of our trucker friends.
right. Have you all been murdered? Call us and let us know.
If you've eaten any
Yes, exactly.
super fiber bars and gotten on a public transit system of any kind, we want to know.
Yeah.
I still need to know the end of that story. I can't believe he ate 3 fiber ones and was driving a train.
He was driving something else after that.
That man died. That man's in heaven now.
I just assume that everyone that doesn't correspond with us anymore has died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only explanation.
That's pretty much.
He died as he lived, shitting violently.
Well, like you said, it's the volume, not the.
Took that. He took that midnight train to Georgia. Which I think is on Urban Dictionary. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Oh, he's leaving.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, let's get out of here, shall we?
All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next time.
Oh, bird.
On a midnight train to Georgia.
And hey, don't forget youtube.com/watercooler and Twitch TV/bedtime
Bedtime
sleepy
story.
time.
Twitch.tv/bedtime story TV.
That's it.
That's gotten a pretty good response so far, and I'm really happy with that.
I've seen that.
I thank all of those people for.
And I'm a
Tuning
couple
in.
episodes behind on 31 and 31 now, but I got to say, overall, good job this year.
It's been a good season,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Thank you. For
I
Comments
never
have
know.
been said.
Thank you for
I
your
honestly
service.
never know. Like the one season, everyone was like, "This sucks." I was stymied by that. I was like, "These movies are great. What's wrong with you people?" But I can never tell like what constitutes a good season.
Was that Year of the Racists or something?
No. This was just a year of just. I was just watching movies and like a good chunk of people were like, "Man, this is the worst season ever." And I'm like, "Why?" I don't.
Because you liked things?
I don't know what it was.
And then that one guy asked you, he's like, have you liked anything?
Yeah.
Do you ever like any movies?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy, have you ever given any movies 5 stars?
Yeah. I was like, yes.
Yes.
Like,
Which one?
yeah. It's like, well, go.
That's
Produce
not
me
the-
a list, YouTube man.
I'm busy
not
at
the
the
question.
moment.
No.
That's also not the question you asked, you dingleberry.
Answer me.
It's like, I like a lot of movies.
And I appreciate that everyone who commented or who downvoted you for liking Star Wars The Last Jedi actually watched all the way through to the end of the episode.
Yeah, they would have had to because
Yeah.
it is the last second thing I said.
So wait, what now?
You haven't watched the video yet.
Oh, one of the new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna downvote you before I get there, just because.
Sure, that's fine. Why not?
I'll upvote you when I get to the end, because that's what I always do.
I think the double feature
Because I love your content.
Happy
Chuck.
Death Day and other one was the last. I might have watched the one right
That's
after.
the last one that I saw too. Was Happy Death Day.
You guys need to catch up.
Well, no. I mean, what was after that? Because that was double feature Saturday, right?
No, that was Sunday.
Okay, that was Sunday. Yeah.
Sexy sequel Saturday.
Sexy sequel Saturday. Yes. Okay, I saw that one too. But yeah. Fuck.
Race with the Devil.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like a '70s movie, but Race with the Devil. Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
I watched that before we
You did,
recorded
yeah.
Who You.
Watched it in my presence, which
Yeah.
is highly unnerving.
Yeah,
can't
I made Chuck listen to
stand
himself.
that.
Made Chuck listen to himself
Oh,
talking
that's the
about a
worst.
movie.
Maintain eye contact, Chuck.
I'll be
Yes.
like in another room and I can hear my wife watching it on YouTube. I'm like, just
Yeah.
I like have to go turn the water on or something, or just be like, drown it out, turn the white noise generator on.
That is why I rarely listen to the podcasts. I just
Well, I
Like,
can listen to myself fine. I'm so over that because I have to be to edit all the
Yeah.
stuff. But it's like I because it's on YouTube, I have no idea how people react to it. None.
Right.
And I don't want to. Because you can tell right away people are just like, that was nice. You know, and it's just like, fuck, well, then you just get all filled with self-doubt and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So,
Well, that's the YouTube thing. That's the internet thing.
No, I
you
know.
have to have an extreme reaction to something, or everybody's like, "Okay, whatever."
I mean, I don't mind a comment at the end like good review. You know, that's
Yeah.
fine. But I don't want real time. I can't. Like if I was a film director, I would never be able to go to an audience screening. I would just be like,
Yeah.
"Look, put it out there. I'm done. Just give me the audience cards at the end. I don't want to know."
Mm,
It's weird.
well, having sort of gotten a chance to do that recently, it's not as bad as you think.
It's not for everybody.
it makes your stomach gurgle.
A little, but
I
don't
felt
know.
like I had to poop that entire time.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's just how I react to that sort
Sure.
of situation.
Facebook's still a classic joke, Chuck.
Yes.
Still one of the best jokes of all time.
Yes.
What?
Hey, Facebook.
Oh, the invention of Facebook. I think didn't you even
I
have
did,
put a
I
rim
the
shot?
thing
Yeah,
in there,
that's so
'cause
good.
I had to make sure people knew it was a joke.
Oh, it's so good.
Jokes.
I mean, you didn't, but it was a good joke either way.
That was
I also
probably
missed the old man alarm. That hasn't gone off in years.
Yeah.
What? Hey. What? Hey.
Yeah,
I feel like
a
that
good
needs to
alarm.
come back because the old
Yeah.
man
Well, I
alarms.
haven't written any old man references this year.
You should.
I mean, half the movies are from the 70s, so it should be just going off the whole time. But as soon as I say the words Warren Oates, it just should be going off.
You mean of Hall and Oates?
Yes, of Hall and Oates is who I mean.
Oh, Holland Oates.
Daryl Hall
That's my
and
favorite-
Warren Oates.
That's my favorite singer, Holland Oates.
Yes, Holland Oates is very.
Yeah,
he's a,
it's
he's a
one
good
guy.
man.
First name Holland, last name Oates.
But it's like I do think so. In the Killer Clowns video, I spent 2 days going through VHS tapes to find this 7 seconds I knew I had of me in a video store in high school.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And I put it in there, and not one fucking person has mentioned it. And I spent like 2 fucking days looking for this. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this will be a fun treat. People will see me when I was a kid.
I'm
and-
sorry I didn't mention it.
No,
I
no,
thought it
it-
was really cute.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was like,
just-
oh, look, there's little Chuck.
Yeah, but it's like,
Little
and
Chuck.
I'm not upset that no one mentioned it. I'm just like, the things that you think in your head, like, oh, this will get a reaction, get no reaction. And that's why I
Oh,
don't
well,
want
yeah,
to watch
sure.
anything in real time, because you work on like just a way you say something, and it tickles you, and you're like, well, that's going to be funny. And then if you listen to people watch it, and it doesn't, you're like, fuck, I'm broken.
Dude, that's how my writing was. All the
Right.
stuff I was like, this is my favorite shit I've ever written.
Yeah.
Like nobody would comment on it or anything, and then I'd just like shit out garbage in 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
there'd be like 500 comments on it. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, internet?
Well, it's the story of my fucking life. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I laugh at my own jokes, because I wouldn't say if I didn't think it was funny. I don't, at a certain point you have to be like, well, whatever, I laugh.
I like it.
Friend of the podcast, Ian,
Yeah.
who's writing
Mr.
for...
Hoity-toity video game man.
Yeah.
He said something on Twitter the other day. He's like, all the stuff that I
Yeah.
love, my editor hates, and all the stuff that I hate, my editor loves. So, shit like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, I love all of your
Taste
content.
is
though, Chuck.
subjective. But
You would have seen me react positively to Lil Chuck in the video
Well, then
store.
I need a series of BJ reacts too.
You want me to start doing
You got
it?
a green screen.
I'll fucking
Play
do
the
it.
video
I'll
on the
fucking
green
do it.
screen.
I'll
Well,
fucking do it,
do
Chuck.
it.
I'll fucking do it. You want me to
That's
do
the
it? I'll
thing,
do it.
Like I do wonder about, like the silent majority of listeners and viewers, because we know you get shit tons of views. We know the numbers on these episodes are way, way, way more than what we receive
Yeah,
in
from
emails
what the
and
response is,
comments
yeah.
and that sort of thing. And it's like, and I think about myself, like listening to a lot of podcast shows where I'm just like, I don't need to write in because a million people listen to this show.
Right.
You know, and I sometimes wonder about that. Like people listen to us and are like, I don't need to write in.
Yeah.
But it's like, and what they think, where, there's got to be so many people out there that listen to the show that just have never felt the need to write in or comment.
Yeah.
or
Well, I
anything
mean,
like that.
I'm not gonna like stupidly name drop, but I talked to some podcasters who have huge numbers, and they basically said like, look, you're lucky if you hear from 3% of your audience in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky, like super lucky. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, just looking at our numbers and like people that are in our chat rooms or send email and people have died on farms and with their trucks and Fiber One bars and whatnot. But like, yeah, and I mean that makes sense. I mean, those people have, like bank numbers. Like I said,
I hope that people who were corresponding with us regularly don't think that we got sick of them and then they just stopped writing entirely. I hope that's not the case, because like some of these people that we were reading emails from week after week, like there was the one guy who worked on a movie set and was like doing
oh yeah,
fuck, what's the dude's name?
he was telling us Michael Chiklis was not cool.
Yeah, but also like what's the guy's name is in all the Blood Fist movies?
not Gary Daniels.
No.
Fuck.
Gary Busey,
Yeah,
Gary Coleman,
Don the Dragon Wilson.
Yeah, Don the Dragon.
Gary
Yeah, he was
Shandling.
like I worked on Blood Fist 8 and I have some Don the Dragon Wilson. So, it's like, and they just stopped, and it was like, dude, you have to have more stories.
Yeah, but one of them was like, I don't know. It was just one of them was like, all right, now we're getting into like, I don't have any way to corroborate this, and it's kind of damning story.
Well, sure.
Like one of those was like that, and that's why we I don't think we read that one, and he was probably like, well, fuck you guys didn't read it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm
knows?
saying it was like, it was even like a pre-Me Too thing, but it was just like, oh shit, I have no way of knowing if this is true. I mean, no reason to doubt this guy saying it, but the internet's also full of fucking straight up liars and trolls. So,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like we don't want to read the story because it might make this person sound like a shithead, and then they're a perfectly nice person,
I mean, even the
or they were having a bad
Mysterious
day.
Stranger, whoever the fuck that was.
I
I
almost guarantee they're still around. I just I think the bit stopped.
Okay.
yeah.
There are only so many Piazzadora jokes you can make.
Yeah.
Well, we just need to watch another one, and it'll be like saying Beetlejuice 3 times.
Trouble
and-
is, there aren't many.
I know. I know.
Yeah, there's one we don't want to watch.
There's two we don't want to
Oh,
watch.
that's right. There's two we don't want to watch.
So that basically leaves the one we already saw and Naked Gun, 33
two.
and a third,
Was it this third one? Okay.
where she's at the fucking Oscars.
Right.
Which is a funny joke that no one laughs at. I just think that's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
All right.
But yeah.
All right, Internet. Thanks for being on this crazy journey with us tonight. We'll see you.
I figure one day when we say we're hanging it up, like someone's gonna write in and like, oh, that was Mysterious Stranger, or someone else is gonna be writing like, oh, I've still been listening. I've been here the whole time. I'm just like, like that's my dream. Like I almost want to say we're quitting the show just so that like,
April Fool's Day is right around the corner.
well, it's just so like
man,
everybody
no
can
quarters,
like, tell
final
us
episode next
that's
week.
true.
Yeah,
Just the
sure,
penultimate
last
episode. But no, like
Ultimate.
I think that is that the joke? Is you just keep saying it because you don't know what it means? Or I mean, I know you know what it means, but
It's the penultimate episode.
Yeah, penultimate is the.
It's always the next to last one, and people are
Yeah.
always like, "Wait, the next one's the last one." You're like, "Yeah, dude, sorry."
Yeah, but now we hit 100. It's time to hang it up.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep going.
It's the ultimate episode.
Yeah, the penultimate episode, then the ultimate episode.
Exactly. Yes.
and then there's the
And then the next
sword episode because
and then we start all over again.
It's like I've been
all right, good night,
watching
everybody.
a lot of
Shutting this down.
to kind of go back to the numbers thing. I've been watching a lot